Welcome to Omega Om TV. I'm Father Jay. Tonight we're continuing on with our Coriolis Truth About Station 18. This is part 2. Where we left off was Rashid had just got to the airlock of Station 18. Our team of freelancers had jumped into the Coriolis system, talked to their job fixer, Zamil, and he had hired them to investigate what was going on with this Station 18. They had went out to the outer rim to get to the Jackroom station to talk to Zamil's cousin, Zamil, or Zamir, and he had led off the Legion ship, which was helping to set up the quarantine for this station. The station is slowly rotating on its own axis, surrounded by gravity tarns, little microscopic tears in the fabric of space-time. Our ship had been able to get through the gravity tarns, and Rashid had piloted it very close, and Zahir had been able to get across and hook up to the station. And we come into the scene with both craft slowly rotating with the thinnest sliver of a cable tying the two ships together. And Zahir is finishing up work on ratcheting down his end at the Station 18 and preparing to go into a hatchway that's right there. Zahir, you want to talk to your fellow base freelancers and let them know what's going on right now?
Zahir doesn't look too good. What's wrong, Zahir? You feeling sick?
Maybe he's affected by the gravity tarns. Rashid, we'll say that since Steve isn't actually here, we'll say that Zahir says, I don't know, it's something. Rashid, do you have your end all tied off?
Yep, I'm all good to go on this end.
All right. Mara, Zephyr, that means you're up. I'll stay with the ship.
Who wants to go first? Nobody volunteer all at once. Well, if nobody's going to go first, I guess I must. So.
Okay. Well, with the cable, it's going to be pretty easy. So you can just do the descriptor of going across. I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Do we got spacesuits on? Obviously, right?
Yeah, you have your exosuits that you guys have in the ship.
Exoshell, they're called.
Exoshells. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna walk across this rope. I'm a little nervous because I haven't done this before. And I'm looking down and I see asteroids and stuff like that.
Mostly you just see black, and then the some ship debris from that initial team that had went in, and their ship had been destroyed. So you see some ship parts glinting and what light is coming from the star. And then other than that, it's mostly just dominated by the Station 18, with obviously some of the like vacuum organisms that every time it rotates into the light, they start giving off some pulses of red and purple light. And then when you're in the shadow, they go dark. That's mostly what you're seeing as you're climbing across on the cable.
Okay, and I just continue and I look back. Are you guys coming?
Rashid will
Mara,
follow.
you're up.
Well,
Well, Rashid, you're already on the other.
Oh,
You
that's
already
right.
made it to the station.
Oh, okay.
And you tied that side
Okay.
off.
is
So it's just
did
Mara
anything
that's
bad
left.
happen to Zephyr
No.
going over? Are we sure?
I'm sure.
And Mara will go next.
Okay. Again, with the cable, it's basically just following real quick, and as long as you take your time, it's pretty easy. I won't make you roll. But you can describe how Mara's feeling as she's coming across, if you like.
I mean, I don't think she goes on adventures all that often. She feels very exposed. And she knows those, like, if that thing's rotating as we're going across, so that we see
both ships are rotating in sync.
the ships. Yeah, that's what I thought. Right? How else would it work?
Yeah.
So, do we have a look? Do you have a good look at those organisms at a spot of the station that's showing those organisms right now?
Yeah. So there's, we'll say, like about, because Rashid had picked a spot that was as much uncovered as possible. So we'll say, like, 30, 50 meters away, there are some vacuum organisms, plant-like looking structures. And as I said, is when the ships are rotating into the starlight, when it gets hit by light, the vacuum organisms start lighting up and sending out some pulses of red and purple light. And then when the ships rotate back into you're rotating in one direction, but when they rotate back away from the sun and you're in the darkness side, that's when they shut off, and then you're just seeing them in their darkened form.
So
we're rotating every couple of minutes.
Yeah, the organisms, they're at the same spot relative to us, but they're being lit up and darkening again because we're all rotating.
Correct.
So Mara is trying to ignore them and not look at them, and failing, because they are the most deadly and fascinating thing about this place, and she doesn't want to think about them, but she can't help but do so. And so she is very relieved when she gets close enough in that they are kind of off screen, that she can't really see them very well anymore. So she'll join Zephyr and the airlock, wherever we're ending up.
Okay. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but that initial harpoon off that you did, Rashid, that was just to make the initial connection, and then you had to lock it down, get it anchored rather than just harpooned across. I don't remember what we said, how you had initially connected. If you just floated over with the cable, or did you harpoon shot it?
That wasn't me, I don't think, was it?
But, yeah, Viking, didn't you do that shot right at the end?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, did you carry it over when you went over, or was it like a harpoon shot type of thing?
I think it was a harpoon shot.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it was a harpoon shot.
Okay, so in that, we'll say that in that case, Zahir, being the pilot, is I don't like trying to, match velocities and spin with this thing. So, why don't you disconnect the cable and I'll monitor you from here.
And 4.
Disconnect the cable.
Because if there's any sort of weird, positioning alteration with the ship and we're too close together and I'm trying to match it and keep that cable, then it's tying us together and it could wind up, causing us to have an accident that we don't want to have happen. We got you guys safely across. We can harpoon across the line when you guys are ready to go, or I can find a spot to try and land it, or you guys can tell me what condition that airlock is in, but it doesn't look so great from here.
You're not going to bail on us, are you, Zahir?
No. Why would I do that? We've been through too much.
Yes, we're old friends.
The Baran system.
Just making sure.
Specifically Zephyr.
Well, Just wait for Rashid to come in. You coming?
Yeah, I'll follow behind.
Okay, I guess we
All right,
better go in.
So yeah, so there's like a little hatchway that opens up into like a small maintenance airlock type of thing that you can get into. And so you guys would have to like process through that one at a time, especially in your exoshells being bulkier. So who wants to process through first?
So it's like an airlock that you gotta, one person at a time goes in.
It's one person, yeah, one person at a time.
Well, I guess I'm first here. I'm first in line, so I better go first. Do I got to roll or anything?
Nah. Well, let me do a quick side roll. Yeah, it's still functioning enough. All right, so there some extra commands that you have to type in, but it winds up starting to cycle through, opens up, and make sure that I'm only showing you this because you're the only one seeing the moment. So you open up the airlock, get into the corridor, and that's the initial scene that you see.
What the fuck? Guys, you better raise your guns, man. This is pretty... I don't know what we're in for, man, but we're in a lot of trouble here. We got to be on alert at all times. I see some dead body. Everything's in disarray. There's cables everywhere. There's panels broken, blown up. Must have been many here before us. If not,
You realize, I was just going to say, Zephyr, I'm going to say that you realize that your suit still hasn't said that there's atmosphere, so you're still in vacuum in this hallway.
There's no gravity here. Just be careful. I'll stand guard. You guys come in.
So you realize you can, since there isn't any air in this hallway, you could just open up the doors and let the others step through rather than needing to cycle through it one at a time. I mean, you'd be stepping through one at a time, but you wouldn't have to wait.
I guess there's no airlock per se, right? So
no, there's doors that close off, and then you're basically just leaving the doors open. You're telling the system ahead.
It's a vacuum in here, but just open the door. I open it, and
right. So I will feed this to everyone else. So that's the initial hallway scene that you see. And the light that's coming through in that image, that's as you're rotating into the light of the star. There's the internal light, emergency light. Like you can see further down the hallway, there's like an emergency energy field that is evidently holding the atmosphere back from the next section.
This place is a mess.
So there's a little terminal across the aisle or across the corridor. There's also the dead body that is in a ship suit, and then the cabling and the mess of panels and debris, and that's what you're seeing right here immediately in your area.
And how many options of direction do we got?
You have the forward direction that you see here, and then there's a kind of a smaller like gangway access corridor to your right So you're thinking, I mean, unless you pull up like some schematic that would tell you differently, if you could get into the terminal, maybe is what you're thinking. But this access corridor probably should go further down and meet up with another corridor that maybe would, if there's oxygen and atmosphere, uh, maybe you could go that way and find one that is that way. Or alternatively, you could go forward and try and deal with the force field energy shield that's on there. You could turn it off and potentially explosive decompress the next section.
I'm
So
looking
we
at.
can't go through the force field.
No,
Mm-mm.
I mean you could probably, but you would take some damage doing so. Your suits would take some damage, and there'd be like a risk of short out.
Yeah.
You said there was a terminal here.
Yes. So kind of imagine in that image, on the right hand side of that image, there's kind of like that orange panely thing. Imagine just to the right of that, there's a terminal, and it is kind of glitching in and out of lights at
I'd
the
like to
moment.
check it out. Anyway,
Okay. Yep. Go ahead and give me like an assessment data gen roll. So just let me know how many successes you get.
okay. So what was the skill that I should use?
Data gen.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to? Now you said it was glitching out. Like, do I get the sense that this might be dangerous to interact with?
You get the sense that it might just be like a power feed, or it is
Mm.
not so much dangerous to interface with, so much as it is probably like a weight screen that normally would be on, but due to like whatever ship damage has happened, it's not putting the full power in to be on that waiting screen, so it's going dark because it's not getting enough voltage. That's your initial assessment. So once you give me a data gen roll, we'll see what it is. Yep. All right. So you got
Is
one
that
success.
Does that go correct?
So
I-
yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
you did it correct. So with the one success, I will say that it is exactly how you initially assessed it. Is that it was just a waiting screen issue where the terminal isn't getting enough power in general. And on that waiting screen, because it's not getting enough normal power, like let's say 1.3 volts instead of 1.5, the waiting screen is in like a low power saver mode, and so it's basically turning back on to be on in that power saving mode, but then turning back off, and that was what the glitch is. So as soon as you interface with it, it seems like it's okay, but you can tell right away, that with the low power that it doesn't have some of the commands that normally would be accessible. Um, and what would you like to find out from this terminal?
Oh, what? Why are we here again? We're
So
supposed to. Yeah.
there's the data recovery,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
on that emerald disk that they wanted, that had research data they summarize is on there. And then the other secondary part was the recovery of any of that, Duran's crew for the, what was the name of the ship? The Shiraz
Can I
that had come
find
after the
where?
expedition.
Yep. Uh,
So can you
can I
find what?
find? I'm sorry. Uh, can I find like where there would likely to be sort of the research area on this, where I would be looking for places to find research data?
Hmm. Um, so you get like a generalized schematic of the ship, of like deck plans. You guys are, on one of the habitat, um, levels. The research facilities were on like the lower two decks below you. There is also on the deck above you, further away than where you're at right now, essentially on the other side of the station, is the biodome that you had seen from the outside of the ship. And currently, with the limited access that you have, you know that the bridge is gone. The only other thing that you can tell for where that had maybe been rerouted to is from what the data is saying on the terminal, is that it seems like most of the command functions have been routed to the biodome. So evidently after the accident, some folks had rewired functions to have like some place in the biodome act as the backup bridge, as it were. And from what you can tell, I will say an extra piece of information that you get is that it does currently indicate that the biodome has atmosphere.
Of course it does. Oh man, from as a player, my horror instincts are the biodome is going to be the worst possible place for us to go. So I'm pretty sure that's where we have to go at some point. But I would be willing to prolong our survival by checking out the research levels first. What do other people think?
Omega, you're on mute if you're trying to talk.
Mara, what's your class? Are you like a scientist?
I am a data gen. I think is that the?
Yeah, that is correct. Yeah.
I'm not a scientist, not at all.
Well, data gen. So does that mean you got lots of information stored in your brain? Is that what it means?
I get. I'm sure, but where are you going with this?
I just wanted to know what your abilities are. I'm just a.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a. I'm on the run. Been a prisoner all my life, so I don't know much of what's going on out here in the real world. So all I can do is back you up. I'll look at you for trying to figure this stuff out of where that data is located. I got my I got a sword. I don't even have a gun. I got a sword. I got the sword.
Yeah, that's good. Sharp weapons. Good. Rashid?
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Made by the Kamaka.
That's not a knife.
Oh, goodness. Oh, someone said Rashid's name.
Well, where do you think? I'll let you dictate where we should go, Mara.
So Mara, from the terminal, you see that side access corridor, that's tighter to the right from that image. Roughly about 100 meters down, there is a doorway, and from the schematic that you got from the terminal, there's a longer normal corridor that you can go down and get to a lift, elevator / emergency stairs down to the next level, which is the research level 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Yeah, if people don't object, I mean, I want to hear from everybody else, but if people don't object, we can. I'm not sure I trust the elevator in a haunted house of a space station, but if there are stairs, we might want to try the stairs.
Yeah.
So we'll go towards the stairs and check them out.
Sounds like a plan.
Hope everyone
so
will
you
have
guys,
their leg day.
You guys kind of magnetic boot clomp down the vacuum no atmosphere access corridor, get to that next hatchway, and it does have a similar dual door single person cycle through. And whoever, Zephyr, if you're taking lead again, you punch in, and it's indicating that there's air on the other side of the lock.
What is indicating that? Just the door itself?
The panel there there's like a little panel at the door that when you bip bop it, it's like, oh yep, there's air on the other side. So it's like, say like, there's like the two sides represented, like this side's red, this side's green, the other side.
As much as as much as I don't mind a vacuum with the spacesuit on, I'd prefer to have a little security of air. It looks like we got air on the other side in case our suits fail. But I would still keep our suits on, I would guess.
Yeah. Yeah, your exoshells have about 6 to 8 hours of air.
And so I imagine there's an airlock here.
Yeah, there's two doors. It's not a sophisticated airlock, but it does effectively act as one. So think of it more like a bulkhead door, except it's bulkhead gap bulkhead, so that it can act as a airlock under decompressive scenarios.
Well, here we go, guys.
And again, because of your bulky suits, you go one through at a time. So who's first?
Me. I open airlock.
You get in. You do see that the window in the door that you would have to go, like the inner door, because you're going through the outer door. And you go and you see that there's a small little like porthole window. And that porthole window though is all scuffed over and you can't see through it.
I can't see it. What's on the other side at all?
No, I mean you can kind of see that it appears that there's like a little bit of glitchy light, but you can't really see the corridor. You see just the hint of like maybe there's some green vegetation on the floor as you're trying to like peek through the best you can. But for the most part, like 90% of that window is all scuffed up.
And this is like I can't get assistance. I'm stuck here by myself in this tight airlock, and I have to go. I can't wait for them, right? So
if you want to, yeah, correct.
Mara, what do you know about alien plants? There's plants on the other side. You think it's dangerous? You think they got spores? What do you think we should I open the door? What do you think?
Yeah. So, I mean, can I roll like a science or something to see if I know anything about alien plants?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So, yeah, you can roll.
Roll science. Okay. Please hold. Okay.
Okay, so with your limited science, you would say it's hard to know without looking at them up close, but from what you saw from outside, the best that you got was that it's some sort of space vacuum organism that feeds off of the limited amount of UV light, and that's why it was lighting up in that like bioluminescence. So as far as danger, I mean, it's not like it's some vicious, active animal sort of danger, but you would advise not to take, the helmet off because you want to check it out for any potential danger of spores.
Okay. I will relay that to Zephyr. That you'll probably be okay, but don't take your helmet off.
All right, here we go. I open the airlock.
Don't, and actually, what Mara will actually also say is, like, don't, like, don't antagonize it, right? Like, I know you've got your sword, but like, don't like stab it or anything. Like, just don't touch it at all. You know, don't fiddle with the plant. Just leave it all alone.
Oh, believe me, I don't want to touch anything.
Yeah,
And
I know
I
the feeling. Right there with you.
open the door. I guess it closes behind me. So hurry up and
Yep.
come in. I'll stay by the door.
Okay, so immediately what I'm going to do then is send you to this. Activate it.
Ooh, what do we got going here? Nice little map.
And you are stepping out of the airlock right there. So there's some plants, like almost like a dark purplish red nature plant. Not kind of, I think of the green as more purple reddish. And again, much like the corridor you had left before that was, in vacuum, there, as you're waiting for the next person to come through, the, station does its rotation and the light kind of leaks through some of the, portholes and windows in this, like, kind of habitation ring corridor area. And when that light leaks through, you see some of those almost like ripples on a pond of just patterns of light up for that couple of minutes as you're waiting for that next person to come through.
I step back away from the plants against the wall.
Okay.
Mara listens for the screams. Are there any screams?
No screams. No.
No screams. Okay. All right. Mara will come in next then.
Okay, you can go ahead and you should have access to be able to move your character, so you can go ahead and move yourself
Okay.
onto the next.
I don't want to
Zephyr
the plants either. Okay. Is there a plant like to our left?
Yeah, it's mostly as you see on the map there. So there's like,
Yeah.
mostly that
Yeah,
left
okay,
side of the
cool.
corridor gets it. And maybe in the 2 minutes that you're waiting for, Rashid to come through, it occurs to you as, the rotation is happening. It's like, plants on the left side of the corridor would get more light because of the way that the windows are oriented, that this right side of the corridor doesn't really get any light when it does rotate through. So that's why they're much more pronounced in the areas that they are, is because of how the light bounces through what little light they can manage to get. Okay, so then after 2 minutes, then Rashid, you're able to push through the dual locks
Okay.
doors and you can join them.
Rashid, what kind of weapon? You got any weapons at all?
Let's see. What do I have? I currently have a power glove on me, so I can hit something really hard if you want.
Wow. We came into this mess with no real weapons. What about you, Mara? You got any guns or anything?
I have. So Mara holds it up. I have a stun gun. I'm pretty sure that's not going to help us with it with like plants or monsters or anything. But if you want to shoot someone who has like no armor and is just going to fall over, this will be great.
Yeah, I know you're a pacifist. You don't want to hurt anything, but
Oh, well, there's that too. Yeah. I mean, yes, this, yeah. I still don't want to die though.
yeah, we all have a right to
So
defend
I have
ourselves.
I have a question in regards to the who's leading off the troop here.
Well, I guess the guy with the sword should lead, right? We got a sword, a glove, and a stun gun.
That sums it up.
I guess the sword should lead. Makes the most sense, so...
Okay, roll me an observation as you're starting to go forward.
You can tell I'm not really good at observing. I'm
It does
overwhelmed.
make you nervous, and perhaps as you might be tempted to pray to the gods for help in assisting this observation.
I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to focus in on. It's just all overwhelming to me. I'm not gonna re-roll this. No, I'm not asking for gods to help. I'm just in awe at everything.
Okay. So what happens with this is you're just so nervous looking around, let's say, that you realize that you just crunched down on some of the plants that are a little bit further down the hallway there. They're in the middle. You didn't think you got up to them that fast, or whatever the explanation is. And it's not like you really feel it in your foot so much as you notice that, because you're supposed to be in darkness, you're not in the rotation of the light, so they're not doing their light pattern. So you're supposed to be in the dark, and it's that you get that perception of that little bit of, low purple light from before that shouldn't be there at this moment, and you look down and, oh my God, I stepped on it. And out from your step, like a ripple on the pond, there's just almost like lines, like pinging away from you down the corridor and around the corner.
Like the lines are like ripples on just plants.
The lighting of the plants, the lights are rippling away through the other plants. It's almost like they're, passing along that ripple, and it's just continuing all the way down the corridor and around and out of sight.
Well, this is strange, everybody. When I stepped on this plant, it seemed to send out a signal. What's that mean? What could that possibly mean?
We tripped the alarm.
Can I use the science on that?
Sure. Now I would say that. Oh, you already rolled it. Re-roll it with a +1, because you're kind of already there.
Okay, I'll roll one. Oh, I got it.
Nice.
Cool. So, yeah, you're very confident that this seems to be plant communication, because what you noticed before was that their ripple patterns was just kind of individualistic, and this seemed very much shared and passed along. So, if it is communicating to itself, or if it's communicating to something bigger or something else down the road, I have no idea, but it's definitely seems to be a form of communication, because it's lighting up when there wasn't any light hitting it. So it's definitely the organisms, the plants, expending energy to do this communication.
This plant has a sensory mechanism, so it knows that we are here. Now, all that came before us died, and we're here. The odds are we're going to die too, unless we do something different. Now, what would be different than what the others would do in the same situation? Beats the hell out of me. I got my sword. Maybe I should try to hack at it. See what that does. Maybe that might make it angry, though.
Yeah, that'll probably upset something.
Because I back off it. Like, I step away off the thing as I'm talking.
Hmm.
I suspect the thing that we can do that they couldn't do easily is leave. Like, we should do whatever we want to do here very quickly and try to get back away before we trigger too much around here. Like, let's get to, like, the one thing we should get and then scramble. It would be my thinking. Because
Exactly.
we don't have a whole bunch of firepower. We don't have much of anything. All we can do is run, and we'll do that when we have to, I suppose. But yeah, I have visions of plant monsters, and I don't want to be right about that. But maybe we can do. This is still the living quarters, right? Like, we still need to get down to the research area, right? So I would.
Yeah. So like under the terminal's information,
Yep.
you would follow this corridor to the end, and then which off map is a elevator shaft and an emergency ladder / tunnel, and that you could then take down to the lower level. Or if you had a breaching charge, you could just blow the floor and go down.
No, I don't think we got anything that powerful.
Unfortunately not.
Mara, I like your wisdom, and I think we should just do what you say. And presto, let's run. Let's run straight for that shaft, that elevator shaft. Right over the plants. Let's not give the plants any time to respond. Let's just run. You with me?
Zoom.
Okay, so who's leading off? Are we still in the what looks to be the Zephyr Rashid
Yeah. I say
Mara
Rashid
order?
to take the rear and Mara take the center.
All right, hang on a moment because I'm having problems with my system. There we go. Working off of somebody else's laptop, so it's always fun dealing with equipment that's not your own. Okay, so Zephyr, if you start running, go ahead and give me double check that I'm correct on this. Let's go for your dexterity.
Dexterity.
There probably isn't, but is there any way I can help with this by sort of trying to keep an eye on things from behind, from being sort of second?
Not functionally enough to help out with a +1 dice. So it's going to be. So roll your dex with a +1, and let me know if you get any successes.
I got nothing, but as I'm running,
No.
I'm like, please, wise one, give me the strength to get through this hell. Please, don't let these plants hurt me, please. I know you protect me. I know you will. And I push it. Do I get a plus for the prayer?
For your icon.
Any plus for the prayer?
No, because you didn't. You would get a plus for the prayer if you had prayed at a chapel or you had pre-prepped praying.
Okay, here we go. Yeah. God, listen to me.
Okay, 2 successes. All right, yeah, good. But I get a darkness point. Yay. Okay. So, yeah. So I'm gonna move your token up here, and what that does is you get down that far down the corridor, and literally running into you is this creature, this beast-like, combined gymnast tiger, looks like some sort of genetic experiment creature that had come loping down the corridor, and you guys basically kind of almost almost ran into each other. It kind of in like a shock, like more than like a grr, and stopped and is like doing like a quick assessment of you, and so you're both in that "what the hell are you" mode.
Oh my God, what is that? You got time to change the settings for that image hover to put it on the center of the screen instead of you got it on the bottom left? If not,
Yeah,
it's
hang on a
okay.
second. I just gotta go in the module. No, I got it. Let's see, configure settings.
Guys, what the hell is that? I think the plant warned some kind of beast.
Yeah.
I got my sword. I'm looking and threatening at it. Don't come any
Yeah, why
closer.
don't we
So-
Stay
buff
back.
up
Stay
ourselves?
back.
Like cuts or
Yeah.
something, you know? Like, ah! I mean, intimidated away.
Alright, you wanted it on top left
Center.
or correct?
Center.
Center?
Yeah.
Okay. Hang on. Yeah, it's taking longer because I'm on a laptop, and so I apologize for not being as quick. But the image hover in the center now.
Oh, I guess I got to do it. I forgot.
Yeah, because
I have to do it.
It's your screen.
Yeah. So I'm sorry to bother you with that.
That's all right. And if it would have been a global setting, it should have fixed it for you. But evidently, it's on person basis.
There we go. Now everybody could see it. The audience could see it. Look at
But
that thing.
it's in that quick moment of having hissed at you, like, "Holy crap! What are you? And do I need to fight you or not?" And that's the moment that you're in at the moment.
I got my
So,
I got my
I'm
sword.
gonna-
I'm waiting defensively for that thing. You know, if it comes at me, I'm gonna stab.
And
Okay.
can we try to intimidate it away? Like, can we, like scare it away?
You guys are coming up. I like that. So, I'll say that it's going to be a slight disadvantage to intimidate it, insofar as you're further back, coming up to the scene, and not the first person right there. So, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and I assume you have what is it? There is a legit intimidate skill, I believe.
They're an intimidate. Yeah.
Manipulation, I guess, would count.
Yeah, that would
Manipulation,
probably be
yeah.
the best thing.
All right, let me double check this manipulation. Okay, and then I'll do like a -1 on that. Ooh, I have no dice in it.
Correct.
Okay. -1.
It's worth a shot.
didn't
Dang.
You're like kind of shoo or whatever you're doing.
Yeah, Mara is not a very
so-
intimidating person.
Right. So, Fur's doing the I'm waiting to see what happens. Mara did the trying to manipulate, intimidate it, and Rashid, what are you doing in that moment?
It's just see the image of Marge just trying to spook it off. I guess Rashid's gonna kind of just like hold his hands up, ready to like throw something, preferably his fists if need be. Wants to wait and see what happens first.
Okay. Right. So then I need to make a private roll.
Rashid, why don't you wait in front of me? Wait to see what happens in
I
front of me.
will do that if you need me to.
Here, I insist.
Just like gently pushed me up, like you go in front of me first for a minute, just in case.
So, what I'm going to want from each of you is a. We'll go with a wits roll. What the creature does is it does like this high pitched yell, like what are you doing here? Ah! And there seems to be some sort of like you feel it kind of in your head that there's some sort of like vibration that goes with it. And so roll your wits to like avoid taking a mind point damage.
Okay.
Wits.
Let's go.
You just roll your straight wits skill.
Yep, correct. Correct.
Okay,
Oh, there we go.
it's not a button for me when I click
It's-
on it. How do I? Oh, beneath.
Yeah, the dice beneath it. Yeah,
Okay. The die thing.
I
Sure.
don't know.
the die. Yeah.
Sometimes the interface is not as intuitive as one would hope.
Okay. Did that actually go? No, it didn't.
Yeah, try it again.
Oh, it's probably giving me a screen. Okay, and then that's okay. There we go. That's not awful.
Excellent. All right, so each of you, were like, this creature is. You're feeling that fear that like, oh, this is some weird biological experiment thing, and then this dead spaceship and the creepy plants and this whole situation. But you're free traders and you've seen some stuff. And with that yell, it then immediately turns around and starts loping top speed down the corridor away from you guys.
You guys see that thing?
Ugh.
Heard it too.
Mm.
What if there's more of them? I think we need a.
And it disappears around the corner while you guys are talking about what you just saw.
We got to get out of here, guys. I think we just say screw it. We don't need that data, do we?
I mean, I would like to get paid. I would like money. That would be great.
Yeah, but we're not gonna be alive to spend it.
So Mara's going to turn to Zephyr and be like, "Get it together, man. We can do this. It's not that far. You're doing great with the running. We'll keep doing it. And if we need to get out, we will. We can't turn back yet."
All right. Okay, Mara.
So now the question is according to your original plan, is there was the airlock emergency, stairs / ladder, whatever they have set up for the emergency access between decks, in the direction of where that creature just loped off to.
Mara would vote
But
for
that's
continuing to
where
do
it came from originally, so it ran away essentially, as best you can tell.
that. And keep going fast. See if we can get down there without attracting all of them. See how far we got. That's
Yeah,
the
I
only
guess.
plan I can think of.
Yeah, I guess if we run at
Right?
it, then it should just keep running. Be afraid of us. We're chasing it.
We do have a numbers advantage right now.
Okay.
For the moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be like that Indiana Jones scene.
All right. Are you moving fast or cautiously? How are you continuing down the corridor?
I personally think
there's-
it's a little bit
yeah.
late for cautious at this point. I mean,
Yeah,
things know we're here already.
yeah, we're running everywhere we go. We're running. I say.
Bolting at this point. We're get it over with, get back, and get the hell out of Dodge.
Okay. Are any of your characters at this point perhaps thinking, I'm not well equipped weapon wise for the situation? Are you thinking like, where can I get weapons? Like might be as you're truncing down the corridor, keeping an eye out for anything useful in that department?
Yeah, I guess I would, because we got no weapons and we know that. And yeah, if we see an armory for sure. But all I could see here is just quarters.
Yeah, currently it's just the habitated area. that nobody's in. There's no bodies. It looks like it was evacuated out. So there's stuff that's strewn, lockers that are open, and then there's some that are closed. So if you wanted to slow down and search rooms, we could do essentially Twilight 2000 scavenge type of roll, which with I forget what it is in Coriolis.
Yeah, that's a good quick way to do it.
Anyway, so you could, you could do that if you wanted to rely on trying to find what you can find prior to getting to the airlock / emergency between decks. That's why I asked, is if you guys were thinking about that.
I don't know if we got time to do that.
Yeah.
The longer we're here, the more likely we're going to die.
Right. So right now, you guys are currently continuing to walk at a normal pace at the moment while you're discussing. Should we go faster? Should we go slower? Should we look at the rooms? You guys are discussing.
There was that dead body back in the airlock when we first came on the ship. We should have checked that out for any kind of weapon.
Probably.
It's too late to go back there.
That person is dead, right? One of the things you were talking about, Zephyr, is what do we need to do differently that they didn't do? And if we take the weapons from them, all we're doing is arming ourselves with what failed to keep them alive.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Maybe we should do it. I'm still fine with people have opinions on it, but I would say some of this is meta. Like me as a player, I've never played a horror game like this, where I've just said, you know what, screw it, just speed run it and see if you survive that way. I just get the feeling that if we take a lot of time to, again, as you said, we set off the alarm, they're going to show up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
One way to get around this is to try to outrun them. It does seem like we're getting some hints that we shouldn't do that, though.
Yeah, the GM's hitting us to look for some parts that we probably need some weapons, but
I'm just trying to add in what your characters would also know. So don't take it as me specifically the GM. I'm helping with your characters as well.
Yeah, but instead of metagaming, we're just going to play our characters, right? And I think you're right, Mara. We should just run.
Right.
Let's play our characters. If we happen to stumble upon a weapon, and so be it, or an armory, that's a difference. But I don't think we got time to waste and look for weapons in these quarters. It might take too long.
Cursory glances are fine enough, I think.
All right. So let's keep. So I would say Mara would speed up a little bit and try to find this ladder to go down there and try to keep going.
Yeah, so you guys speed up. You get to the end of the corridor. There's kind of a curved surface at the end of the corridor, and it's a rather large curve representing the elevator that would go up and down. To the side of that is essentially like a maintenance hatch, and it mentions emergency escape through between level 4 and 5, and so you're on 4. Going down 5 would bring you to that first level of research station, and Zephyr, if you're still leading, you go to try the door, and it seems a little stuck. It doesn't immediately open up, but it's not. You can immediately tell that it's not like a magnetic seal. It's not. It's more like perhaps damage to the ship has warped things, and so it's almost like it's jammed from like an off-shift weight. You know what I mean? Like it starts to open up, but then it stops a little bit.
And there's no way to open this door unless we got some sort of jack.
Or you could try and just brute force it together.
Yeah. That might be a good option.
Is there any sort of terminal for opening it sort of electronically?
Well, because of what I said, it doesn't seem like it's an electronic issue. It seems like it's like a door frame that's been settled, and so you got to use weight to move it. And so this is a situation where if you do definitely want to do this access, stairwell down, you're going to need to brute force this door open.
Damn it. Come on, guys. Come on. Pull. Pull. We can't stay here. Pull.
All right. So what's everybody's strength?
I got 4.
3 for me. For Rashid.
Mara, what's your
3.
strength?
3.
Okay, so we got 3, 3, and 4. Rashid, why don't you roll me a strength with a +2 for Zephyr and Mara helping you.
Okay, strength, the +2. Yes.
Okay, that's all you need. So it's a bear, but between the three of you, you're like, ah, and you hear that little creak of the door, and the metal scraping. You're like, oh yeah, no, there's some bent frame shit going on, and you manage to get the door open, and you can see the stairwell ahead of you that leads down, and it's got emergency red lighting. So you take the stairs down and you went up into another corridor, which, give me a moment. Come on, touchpad. Come on, activate. There we go.
Okay.
I can't see.
Let me double check the configuration.
It's blinded us.
Darkness. It's advanced.
Yeah, you come out of the darkness and then, you can then see down the hallway. You'll be able to see now.
Yes. Ooh.
So there's a much wider corridor that you kind of side come out, obviously, in front of the main turbo elevator shaft, and then so it's a wide corridor. You can see up ahead of you in the dim emergency light, the doors to either side, and then there seems to be some smaller access corridors that you can kind of see splitting off left and right, and then further down you see a rather large statue/fountain with what looks like some sort of debris pile mixed with some of the vegetation, but you're kind of far away from it at the moment, so it's hard to tell. But that's what you're seeing initially.
Does the statue, is it like a god or something? Do I know?
Yeah, it seems to be a representation of the messenger icon.
Well,
So is there like, so this is the research level? So I guess Mara would be kind of looking around for places, research stuff. Like, so Mara would be coming out. Like, again, we said we were going to go kind of fast. I think Mara's going to basically trot out to the corridors, it seems, to either side.
So the doors didn't really give any indication of, other than lab 3 or whatever, very generic names. It didn't give any indication of what's behind the doors, and there's no windows. And then the corridor to your right basically alludes to labs 20 through 25, and then the other way says labs or research lab 1 through 2 or whatever, because you had the lab 3 right here at the corridor. So it seems that left and right would be shuffling off to the other areas of labs and research rooms. And as you get closer to that debris pile, why don't you give me an observation roll?
What do you see, Mara? What do you see?
No, so close.
Okay.
Pray.
Um,
Pray.
well, it is up to you on whether or not you want to pray and push the roll.
Not here, no.
Okay. Well, at any rate, so essentially, you get a weird feeling, like maybe you heard something, but then you're like, well, maybe not. And then in the debris pile, though, you see like the torso of like a child size, without clothing. So you kind of got like what kind of looks like bare spine, covered in the debris slash vegetation, vacuum organisms. But there's like the bare back and bare head of what appears to be a child.
Boy.
Right here in the stack there.
I will tell people that there might be something weird going on, and there's a body in there.
What body? What do you mean a body? Another body? Is there any weapons on it?
Yeah. It's a child's body, so probably not.
Oh boy.
But who knows? Maybe they armed their children here. Want to come up and take a look?
Yes. Jesus, looks like there's like one,
It's-
two,
it's
three, four,
almost-
5 ways out, passageways. Plus, it looks like there's like 10 doors. And you said we could finish this in like 2 hours.
Yes, because some of it's going to be theater of the mind because I don't have maps for every room.
I do think Mara kind of sees that this is what it is, and would probably, go to the left, like open the door, try to see if it's possible to search through this place without taking too much time. So she would go over.
Mhm.
I don't know if that's a door or a
To which-
doorway or what.
It's a corridor.
Corridor.
So
Okay, so
it's
she
a
would
corridor
start to go down
that
it.
would lead to another hallway. Yeah, okay.
We need the data. You sure
so
you're going?
Zephyr, are you in?
Well,
Zephyr, are you investigating the body, or are you distracted by Mara wandering off?
no, I'm gonna investigate the body because I'll let Mara go to scout that hallway because we have no idea which hallway to go down. So let her scout that hallway, see what leads there, and I'll just check this body out. And Rashid,
Okay, so
maybe we should split up.
what you visually see.
I mean, what do I see?
Oh, okay, I was just waiting to see if you were saying something else to Rashid. So what you see is what Mara had seen is you see the like kind of upper torso and bald head of what appears to be a humanoid, child laying in this detritus, plant and debris that is in front of this fountain.
And what's the debris? What's in the debris? Like, what kind of debris is it?
The best you can, I mean, unless you start sifting through it, but just looking at it, you're like, okay, so it's some of the vacuum organisms that we've seen before. They don't seem as matured here, maybe because it doesn't get, at least so far, hasn't gotten any light. So you're not sure where it's getting its energy from offhand immediately. But you're like, oh, it's smaller versions of the plant stuff that we saw in the earlier corridor. But then it's just like almost like machine parts, and then viscous liquidy material, almost like body rot is, I guess, the best way to present it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna step back and the messenger, is that anything to me? Is that religious to me?
Is that your personal icon? I forget. Let me look.
I don't think so.
Yeah. So, I mean, that the messenger has various different uses throughout the um, horizon. So it really depends on who originally set it up. But generally speaking, you have the good tidings and messaging that messenger represents for the majority of people. But it could be more of a specific offshoot zealot thing that set it up that might have a slightly different interpretation of it.
I bow to the messenger and I back off. Mara, what do you see?
Okay. Um,
Okay, go ahead.
oh, I was just going to say, why don't you roll me a quick observation roll since you were scrutinizing that pile really well.
No.
See if I can give you extra info. All right. So then you ask Mara what she's doing, where she's going.
Yeah. What do you see, Mara?
Yeah. I mean, I go down the corridor enough to see, what there is, new, something, enough to try to get a sense of what's down in this section. I don't know if I would go hundreds of feet, but I would probably go like 20, 30 if I needed to.
Okay. So you go about 100 yards and you're in another corridor that's very similar to the first one that you left. Again, basically mimicking what you're seeing here is some rooms that are labeled with the different lab designations, and one that I would say catches your eye does say the stasis room, and other than that, it mimics this other hallway where there's another fountain and another different looking icon. This one looks like the judge, or the representation of the judge, I should say, because that's kind of more faceless. But
The judge, the
Um,
messenger.
Can I? Uh, are there any terminals here that can give me a more detailed map of this section, or the whole?
yeah, you do find
research?
a terminal further down, closer to the fountain, like just opposite the one side of it.
Is this fountain also sort of surrounded by the vegetation, the stasis, the organisms?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the only difference here is that you're not seeing like the upper torso of a body, but you are seeing detritus that is piled up in front of it.
Um.
So
Yeah.
we'll pretend that this corridor that you guys are already in is the second corridor. And so, Mara, if you want to place yourself, the terminal is over here in this other corridor.
Right. I would go to that terminal then. I'd try to keep as wide a berth from the. I wouldn't go like that. I would be going
Yeah.
around, but
Gotcha.
I don't. It doesn't look like
And
I can
then,
completely stay completely away from it, right? So I might have to get relatively close to it to get to the terminal, but that is the goal.
yeah, yep. So you manage to stay out of it. There's enough space to walk around it. And then Rashid and Zephyr, are you just following, overwatching, or what are you guys doing?
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay close to everybody in case something comes screaming around the corner.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll your observation, Rashid, and then while you're rolling that, Mara, go ahead and roll me a data gen for your access and what you're trying to pull off the terminal. Okay. Rashid, you hear some distant scrapings of like movement.
Okay, do I know which direction they're coming from? Or do I just hear it echoing
From where you're
throughout?
standing right here, it seems as best you can determine coming from opposite of where you're at, but whether or not it's coming from the left corridor, right corridor, or further down the dark hallway that corridor that you can't see because the emergency lighting really isn't all that bright.
Okay.
It's hard to tell.
Alright, so Rashid's gonna kind of just book it like right here and put himself in between. Basically put himself in front just in case anything starts coming around the corner, sees us, and immediately moves towards us. Kind of put an imposing presence between the group and whatever is scraping along the hallway.
All right. And then Mara, you didn't get anything on the data gen. Did you want to push that roll?
Ran, and it didn't do me any good.
And you can
Oh,
people
You
if
got a
you
point of
see the
darkness, and
darkness
I
points.
still don't learn anything.
Yeah. So my current darkness points is 2, just FYI.
Oh boy.
So it's kind of a fail forward. So this terminal doesn't seem to give you any extra information, but you do like reorient yourself. It confirms that the reactor is running on low power. There's the slight emergency power. You have the oxygen in this area. Doesn't seem to be gravity in some other sections. So you're not really picking up any more extra information from this terminal. I will say that based on the fact of this terminal and the previous terminal, you're guessing with the reroute of command functions to the biodome that if you got access to a terminal there, that because of the rerouting, there's a good chance that a terminal in the biodome would have more access, more robust information to be able to be gathered.
I think Mara was kind of hoping that this place, which seems like it might be less dangerous, would have some information for us. But I think at this point, given that Mara is trying to get us through here quickly, every minute we delay is a minute that these things are more likely to attack us or gang up on us. She would actually be ready to say, you know what, we could go through 100 of these corridors and not find the things we want. And that doesn't seem like a winning combo to her anymore. And, she kind of said to Zephyr, like, okay, let's go down here, see if we can find anything and get out. And she's ready to get out. She's ready to say the last place we can check is the biodome. That seems like it's got more likely to have what we need. So are you here with me, Rashid?
Yeah, I'm right
Yeah,
next
he's
to
right
you.
there.
Okay, so she kind of looks up, like looks around, like, oh, hi, and she says that to Rashid, I think I don't think this is going to help us at all, and we can't go through all these rooms. I think we should run out of here and basically go to the biodome if we can. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think?
If we do that, we gotta make it quick. There's something scraping down over here.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
As
okay.
you literally say that, into the dim light, a faceless-looking child appears, kind of semi shambling in your direction. And you just kind of, it looks like it's dragging one leg and one arm's linked to the side. It's got that head cock. It's just
A child.
Jesus.
A child. Like how old?
child-sized humanoid.
Child.
Oh my God.
It's a faceless, child-sized, yeah.
It's moving really slow, right?
Yeah, because one leg basically isn't working. It's limping, and it's just very slowly working its way in your general direction, just straight down the corridor.
Well, we could just tiptoe around it, right? We're faster.
Yeah, yeah. I get. It's moving slow right now.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it stays that way.
Okay.
Are we all together, or I thought.
Yeah,
I
you're
thought,
all together.
Yeah.
Oh, I
They
thought
followed
Zephyr
you
was
into this
going
corridor.
somewhere else. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, they
But yeah, let's
followed.
get out of
They
here.
did a quick examination and look.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so Mara, you're still over by the terminal unless you want to move yourself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I will. Hi. Okay. That is horrifying.
And you
Yes.
notice when you go, you skimp around the side, and you notice it just goes forward in that slow gait. Do you continue to
Oh,
watch
so
it,
it's
or are
not
you
following
scrambling
us.
down? No, it seems to just be heading in that straight line.
Good.
So then, do you want to continue to observe it, or are you out of here?
Let's get to that biodome fast and get the hell out of here, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
So
Great.
as you start booking down the hallway, why don't who's the last one? Mara, you're the last one in the line there. Go
I think
ahead
so,
and
yeah.
give me a observation.
Okay. I feel like we're smart enough to be genre savvy in this horror movie, but we're still not good enough to actually do well in it. So we're gonna
Okay.
trip all those
So
horror things because yeah, go ahead.
As you're moving and way down the corridor, you're the last in the line, and you do that glance back. And when you glance back, you catch this faceless child thing literally like flop down face first into the pile. And that's what you see as you then get out of sight. And you get to the next elevator, the turbo shaft elevator with the emergency stairwell. And are you going up to get to the biodome? Okay. So you climb up, you get to the level that you were at before, and you can continue going up. But as you get to the level that you were at, like say that level 3, or sorry, 4, and then you're going to start heading up to level 3, I'm going to say that Zephyr, you see just like some hint of a humanoid figure, you know, like a shadow, maybe it's the lights playing tricks on you because you're starting to get paranoid, but you swear that like you saw like a shadowy figure up ahead in the stairwell, like kind of like dart away from paying attention to you.
Okay, I'm just gonna walk cautiously up. Come on, guys. Come on. Get on my back. There's something up there, but let's keep moving.
As a note.
All right, so you
I don't
get
want
up
to
onto the like, yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to turn into one of those things. Zomboid and just walk into that mush. I don't want to be that. That's not a way to go.
As you get up to that next, level 3, start getting to the biodome, you go to open up the door for that emergency stairwell, and just as you reach the door and start to open it up, whole ship shudders, like almost like some sort of explosion or crash happened, but it's not super violent, but it's violent enough that it kind of almost, I don't want to say knocks you off your feet, but it makes you stumble a little bit. You're like, the hell was that?
What?
Somebody
Did you feel that?
like make sure that Zair's okay.
Yeah, that's probably Zaire smashing
You
in the
guys
station.
you have comms with Zaire through your exosuits that you still have on.
Anyone want to contact him?
Oh yeah, I thought we were. Yeah, good. Is everything all right? Is that here?
Yeah, other than I just saw the station take a jolt, but that was from the other side. I think there was a brief flash of light. It looked like, I don't know, maybe something not working finally exploded. Once it rotates into view, I'll try and see what it was.
Great.
Okay, so you're
Yeah,
up on the
let
level
us know when you
3.
can.
Will do. So I'm going to activate a very similar looking corridor to the one that we saw before. Oops.
Remind me, never.
Activate.
Once we get out of here, never coming back here again. I hope we get enough to retire. Find a
That would be
nice
great.
beach on a desolate planet, and just build a cabin, and that's it for me. I'm tired of space.
Okay. So very similar corridor to what you were on before, except you're coming from the north direction.
Mhm.
Put you guys up on the north side. Not zoom in.
Weren't we just here before? We're going in circles.
Looks very similar, doesn't it? But you, according to what Mara had seen before, you just got to get down to the end of this corridor, and that'll be the entrance into the biodome.
And how much were we getting paid for this? Like in relative terms?
If you retrieved the emerald disc with the information, if I recall correctly, and unfortunately I don't have my notes here for it, but it was like 50,000 burr, and then salvage rights for the Shamir or Shiraz vessel that Giron had piloted in, if it's still around.
So we get the ship and the money, right?
If you get both, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
So you
run.
get into this next.
Let's run. We're running.
We're rushing.
Okay, so as you're running down this corridor, you get about halfway down this corridor, and you hear, all three of you hear, muffled gunshots.
I'm sorry.
Like way muffled.
Oh boy.
Like as in a level or two down, or maybe a level over. So I mean, like multiple walls, multiple things are in the way to have the gunshots muffled this bad.
Nope, biodome. Let's get that thing and get out.
Okay.
Gunshots
So now
Gunshot.
I am going to ask for each of you to. Well, who's the first one running? Is Zephyr, you're still taking the lead?
Yeah, I'm still taking the lead.
Okay,
I
so
can take the lead if you
roll
don't.
your
If you
dex
want to.
again.
Well, I got the sword,
Okay.
so I could chop down these.
How much good that's gonna do? But yeah, sure. Right behind you, boss.
A lot more than what your stun gun might do. I don't know. Maybe your stun gun could do better.
I don't know either. We're probably gonna find out.
So dexterity.
So roll your dex there, Zephyr. Yep.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. And then Mara, you're second. Go ahead and roll your dex.
Oh, all right. You want me to roll dex as well? Sure.
Yep.
Don't fail this one, Mara. And I did not.
Okay. And then Rashid, roll dex.
Okay.
Technically, if it was really like a mobility roll in your exosuits, I would be doing the -2 because you guys are clunking. This is more of a how you're maneuvering down the corridor, not so much trying to actually avoid something.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, 2 successes. So, I'll say with this, as each of you are passing over, there's like part of the floor that as you step on it, it seems to kind of rubbery, kind of almost like if you've ever been in what do they call it, the bogs, where there's almost like that sponge cake aspect to stepping on vegetation. So you notice it because of the give extra down that your foot does. But all 3 of you go through an area that maybe perhaps it was a hole through the steel, and there's enough plant life evidently to keep you guys all safe and going forward. And you get to the end of the hallway. The gunfire you don't hear anymore, and you're at the again the elevator access shaft. And I'm assuming you're going through the emergency way again, or the emergency stairway ladder. Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, whatever's right to the dome, whatever's quickest way.
Yeah.
That we can find.
Yeah, probably. Just do the quick access through, because you could go up the stairway and then into the main thing there, so it's the fine. Right. So that's fine, and you open up into the biodome, and unfortunately, I don't have like a side view of it. I don't think. No, not right now. But I'll activate into what this looks like.
Another
So
black screen.
yeah, I gotta change the lighting on it. Just give me a quick second.
Ooh, this
All right,
looks
there you
pretty.
go. Should be seeing it.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
So you guys step off. Let me pull your characters on here. Left, right, drop. So this is the like main corridor that you step off into. There's like 2 like offices off to your side, and you can see that it opens up this corridor, then opens up into this, biodome that probably was more organized, but it's like overgrown quite a bit. It's almost more jungle now, and then the paths, and you have like the little plaque that has like the layout that's next to you, which is why you're kind of seeing the whole thing there, and you can see. Cables that have been run up from the decks below, and they're feeding towards the central area of the biodome, kind of almost more backed by, if you had to hazard a guess, feeding off into what used to be some featured area there.
So these
for
plants
the
got
like greenhouse stuff.
These plants got to live off something. So something's feeding it. It needs light. It needs nutrients. This seems like a science experiment gone wrong. That's what it seems like. In this.
Now seeing the biodome, Zephyr, why don't you go ahead and roll? And since you're talking about it, why don't you go ahead and roll me a science?
I believe in you.
I'm gonna pray.
Well, not that much, but I believe in you a little.
I'm gonna pray to my God. No. Nothing.
Okay.
So what's
Yeah, so I
tell
can't give
me
you
tell
any
me what those
instructions.
dark dice do that you get.
Yeah.
So
What can you do with
so
them?
the dark points are for like in the middle of a firefight. I could use a darkness point, or a series of darkness points to have like a gun jam. It's not per se completely adversarial, but it's more like it's the representation of the dark causing that chaos, causing that bad. So I could use it to have NPCs, if the NPCs have powers that require dark points to activate, I could use those points to do that, or vice versa. I can use dark points if they're accumulated up enough. Normally there wouldn't be an encounter here, but I have enough dark points, so in comes 3 guards type of thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that's what the
Gotcha.
darkness points are used for. Yeah, there's some people that don't like that because it winds up being adversarial for the GM against the
Mhm.
players, as it were.
Yeah, if you kill
And so that's
somebody
why,
by
I
doing
think
that,
there's
that might be bad,
right.
right?
So
Yeah.
I think that's why they've kind of, it seems, and again, all we have is the quick start right now, but the hope
Yeah.
and despair of the Great Dark Coriolis, I think that's why they got away from the dark points.
I would go for
So
that.
it
I'm the
doesn't
type
set
of
up
GM that would love
adversarial
the
aspect.
dark points.
Mhm.
To compete against the players.
Well, as long as you understand that this is not
Yeah,
really me. This is the dark coming at you.
yeah. Okay,
But yeah,
so
so that's what you see is that the cabling running off into that area.
I walk in there.
Just this overgrowth that's happened.
Well, we're here, Mara. Fight. The data link's got to be here. The data. Look. It's got to be somewhere.
Yep. Yeah. Can I, uh, can I see where the replacement bridge is?
Yeah, so if you're going to follow the cables, you're going to have to go through some of the paths there to the left side there,
Okay.
to get to this area where the cables are running off to. I mean, you can kind of see it because of the breaks in the vegetation. And you get over there and you can see that there is a lit up terminal that is there. I want, who's in the back? With the way you guys had it was that Zephyr was in front. So Rashid, you were in the back. Give me an observation roll.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's not going to be this easy. Oh.
Oh no!
Okay, so you are taken by surprise.
Dang it.
The elevator door opens up just with this guy in this is all flashing in that like half second as you turn around, like, what? This guy in like almost like an armored suit, black, is flinging out of the door, almost like explosively coming out of the door as it opens up, backwards towards you, like,
Oh god.
and
Yeah.
and now you gotta, like, I'm gonna say you're gonna need to roll a dex with the -2 because you're in the exosuit to
Okay.
avoid him crashing into you.
Dex at a -2. Let's go.
All right, so you managed to sidestep enough, and this black armored suited person, which, as you're getting a slightly better look in that moment,
Yeah.
is like, is that Legion armor? And boom, he falls to the ground, and you can tell that there's like some claw marks that have happened to him, and then there's that moment where you also turn, like, why was he flying out of the elevator?
Yeah.
And there's one of those baboon creatures in the elevator.
Oh.
And you see clattering next to, making noise now as the body hit the floor, that there is one of the Legion assault rifles clattering to the floor next to him.
Okay.
Loose.
Does Legion dude look like dead on a cursory glance, or
On a cursory glance, it looks like he's really messed up. He's not moving in that brief moment, so your immediate assessment is dead/incapacitated.
that's a right shame. I'm grabbing his rifle and I'm like hauling away from that scene. I'm gonna put some distance between me and this weird baboon thing screeching out the elevator there.
Are you pointing the gun at the creature?
No, I'm just grabbing it and going.
Okay, so you grab it, you go. You hear the scream again from the creature. Go ahead and roll your wits again. Meantime, Zephyr, you hear that commotion, the elevator opening, the body hitting the floor, the scream of the creature. It seems like Rashid had started to grab a rifle and he's moving away. What are you doing in that moment? Zephyr.
I'm just backing out. I'm backing up. I got my sword ready, and I'm just watching, waiting to see what happens.
Okay. Mara, you had already made progress over to the terminal, so you're by the terminal.
If I can, Mara has been waiting for things to go sideways since we so she's like, all right, I'm booking it, I'm getting to the terminal, I'm gonna get this information. Hey, guys, don't die, I'll be done in a minute. That's kind of her approach right now. So she's going to the terminal and trying to get it and ignore everything else.
Okay, so roll me a data gen as you access this, what seems to be a fully powered terminal with
Fully powered.
rerouted.
Like to hear it.
Yep.
While that roll is happening, what happens with my failure on my witch roll there?
Okay, so you take a mind wound, or you lose a mind point, I should say. So on your character sheet, you should have the different points there.
Yeah, I see it.
You have hit points and the mind points.
Keep it off real quick. Is it just one
Yep.
point?
Yeah, just one.
Okay, cool, done.
Who should take it away? Me or someone else?
No, Rashid
Yeah, me.
had to.
Okay.
He failed a whiz roll for the yell of the creature. All right, so Mara, your data general doesn't look like you got any successes. Did you want to pray to your icon?
I do. This will probably be I do. All right, let me.
Okay, so go ahead and push the roll.
Okay, let me do that again. It's still +0. Okay.
There we go.
Okay. Right, so you succeed in that. You start to get information. I'm going to start by, what are you looking for? What is your priority of what you're looking for?
Well, I mean, I would love to get. There was information that we were supposed to get when we came here. I think it was like if it was like a physical discs, and those discs are not
like
here.
They said it.
Yeah.
So they said it was supposed to be an emerald disc, and you're looking for whether it's here or if it's somewhere else. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, I'm sorry, what was the other thing you wanted to look for or find out?
Oh, the ship, right? Because it was the other big thing that we were going to get paid for was finding that ship. But I would, if I can only get one thing, I would look for where I could find that emerald disc.
Okay.
That's more likely.
So a couple of things are kind of happening all at the same time here. So you're starting to hack into the system. You're looking for the information about where this research data emerald disc thing is, if it's here, if it's not. I mean, because visually you don't immediately see it. So you're looking for that. The radio call comes in from Zahir that says there looks like there's a hole that's been blown in the side of the ship. I think that's what happened, and it looks like it's newer than anything else. So he gives you that little radio update. And then you two, Zephyr and Rashid, are scrambling away from the creature that had evidently clawed slash through that guy out of the opening of the elevator shaft. And Mara, you're getting information now that says that the emerald disc is actually here. It's in not the unit you're accessing, but it's like in a unit behind you, essentially. And you could do an eject disc on it. And that's what you get in the moment. And I'm going to have you roll, Mara, your observation.
You want me to do that now? Okay.
Yes.
Observation. I feel another push coming on. Sorry, buddy. Oh my God.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh,
Okay, I'll take it.
So
Critical.
you're literally I'm assuming that you wanted to eject the emerald disc. Was that what you were
Yes.
gonna start doing? Okay. So as you start ejecting the emerald disc, you get some sort of hairs on the back of your neck creep up for just what seems to you like no reason. It's like a sixth sense in a way, and you turn in a particular direction. Sorry, with the way you're facing kind of them to your left. So further into this room area, and there is this woman that is appearing in front of you, asking, "What do you think you're doing?"
Hmm. Um, I know my character might not do this, but can I just stun her?
You could draw and try and stun her, yeah. So, do, 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 do. Let me see. Do, 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 do. I'm gonna say because of your 3 successes, basically we'll use one of the successes as like a you were able to like as you were getting the hairs on the back of your head, you are drawing your stun pistol like something's up. And so immediately
Yeah.
once you see her, you're making the decision, sure, go ahead and roll your ranged combat.
Range combat. Okay. Which I actually have a 1 in, so. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. All right. So with that, you hit the stun, and you notice the woman kind of take the hit and start to go down, but there's a bunch of like leafy vine tendrils that come out from behind and prop her up, and she goes, "That wasn't very nice." Oh, again, what do you think you're doing? Meantime, we have to get over to these guys. So Zephyr and Rashid, you guys are backing away from this scene.
Yeah.
You got yelled, you got the mind point, and so you're coming up on this scene of seeing Mara having like hacked in, but then you see her turn, and then you see a woman there, and then the stun gun goes off, and so you see that, and then the vines coming out and prop her back up as you're running towards her.
I'm gonna run towards her and I'm gonna swing my sword at her.
Okay.
Okay.
With distance, okay, sure. Go ahead and you get up close to her, and you can swing away on your close combat, I believe, is what it is, or melee combat. Sorry. I think I'm trying to remember if your Durasword gives you a bonus, so I think you can just run. Can you just swing from your Durasword? Otherwise, give yourself a +1 on the melee.
I'm trying to click it here. Oh, here we go. +1. Okay.
No.
Oh,
Okay.
no, I'm not giving you any more dark points, so I'm not.
Yeah.
No.
Probably a good idea.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Have you used any of them
Right.
yet?
You gotta
No.
tell us when you use them.
I'm at. Yeah, well, because I have to say that I'm using X amount of points to do this. So I have 4 right now that I could use. I am going to use 3 of them, and from Rashid, from behind you, you can see multiple of those creatures loping in your direction. Specifically,
joy.
you see three. You're like, I know there was one in the elevator, but now all of a sudden there's three of them.
Oh boy, I'm really glad I brought that rifle with me.
And this is closer. Rashid, you're like kind of, you guys ran up to this scene,
Yeah.
so you're closer than that.
Oh boy. Okay.
And now we're back to Mara.
Though I don't actually have the disc yet, right?
No, I will say that you, with your 3 successes in that whole thing, that you had essentially ejected it, and out of the corner of your eye you can see that it's completed ejecting out of the slider. So you don't physically have it, but you can like kind of like, if you dashed and reached, you could probably snag it real quick.
Quick question, Father J.
Yes.
What kind of rifle was it that I picked up?
So let me drag this onto your character sheet.
Yeah.
Let's see, where is it? Because I need to grab it from one of the other guys that I have. It is a Legion carbine.
This ain't looking too good.
Where did it go?
All right, you got the data.
Yeah, but we're not going to be able to get back out of here. So Mara's going to, like, I guess she's going to try to talk with this
Oh,
woman
there it is.
if we're at that point.
Well, she did just ask you. That wasn't very nice.
Yes,
What are you
yes.
doing?
So she's gonna, so she's got the gun. She's not gonna point it at the woman, but she's gonna kind of leave it ready to shoot, like, point it down a little bit. And she's gonna, with her other hand, very carefully point to the disc and say, "We're taking that, and then we're leaving, and we won't bother you anymore."
Okay. I will take a manipulation or a force. I think either of those two.
Force. I mean, I've got a better force, so yeah. Is force like, is like intimidation or like some sort of like?
Yeah,
Display
it's
of-
kind of like a persuasion. You're trying the trustworthiness type of thing.
Yeah.
Like, is she taking you for what you're saying, and then are you putting enough oomph
Okay.
behind it?
All right. Well, I'll see how that goes. Cross your fingers.
Yeah.
All right. Give me one moment here. I'm trying to deal with this laptop that has a smaller screen than I am used to with my 8K screens. All right, so if I drop that, items. Okay, so Rashid, you should have the Legionnaire carbine in your stack. And then you, Mara, had done the limited success with the force roll. So she says, "And why are you taking that data? What is your intention with that? Taking that?" And she seems interested in, like, what are you going to do with it? Like, I don't really have a problem with you taking it.
Sure. What does she look like? Does she look like a scientist, or does she look like a bureaucrat or something else?
So she looks like a scientist.
Yeah.
and she gives off an air of, you know, that when she was asking you, like, what are you doing? There's like a inquisitiveness behind her tone of voice and her eyes. And she was, at least at one point in time, dressed as a scientist, but it looks like all that's left is the, you know, pants and the nice shirt and like a little bit remnant of the doctor slash scientist overcoat, but most of that's gone. The plants have like removed themselves from her, and she's like standing on her own now, in front of you. And Rashid, what are you doing right now? And Zephyr, what are you doing now that you missed with the sword?
I'm like
Because
saying,
you see that she's still evidently just, this other person is talking to Mara.
I'm like, Mara,
Or, sorry, Wahini.
can you in control of these beasts? Can you stop them? Like, we mean you no harm. We just want some data and we're out of here. We'll just take a copy of it. Can you stop these beasts? Please.
So is Zephyr talking to
she
me or is
says-
Zephyr talking to the woman?
I'm talking to the woman,
Oh,
Mara.
good.
Well,
Okay.
her name's not Mara. It's
Or-
confusing because her icon is Mara's.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Mara.
I'm just gonna put her. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I got the word Mara right underneath her, right?
Yeah.
You got to right click the token, and for name, you got to hit never displayed for the settings.
Yeah. Hang on.
There we go.
Yeah, let me do that because then it's not overwriting. Let's see, settings, and we'll do never displayed. Update token. Okay, there. No, not dead.
No,
Suddenly this died.
Whoops.
Yep, that's it. Just boom, done.
That's the future.
Okay, this is the touchpad of the laptop going crazy. Okay, sorry.
Oh my God, you don't even got a mouse?
I tried looking for a. Oh, I don't. I know it's horrible.
That's crazy.
So I beg forgiveness from all those, but everybody knows the trouble I'm going through right now with that. So, right. So you're asking her. You're probably closer than that. You're probably down here. And she says, "Yes, the Kubu work for me. They are my creatures." And she does a kind of a wave of her arm, and you hear the kind of noise from the creatures as they sidestep around Rashid, excuse me. And they kind of now flank her and face you guys.
Who are you? Why
So
are you
I'll say
here?
Again. My name is Wahini. This is my station.
How long have you been here?
I intend to give quite some time. It's a very long story, going back now over 100 of your years, I think.
Boy.
But my main concern is what you're going to do with that disc. Do you know what's on that disc? Because she's looking at Mara at this point. Do you know what's on that disc?
We don't. We're not scientists, as you can probably tell. We're taking this to some other scientists who wanted to have a look at this data. We don't know exactly why, but we think they're probably pretty smart scientists who'll be able to study it and make scientific advancements with it.
Well, I do have an interest in giving a gift to the Rim, to Debaran, before we leave. I tell you what, You can take this disc to them if they for sure are going to use it appropriately. They'll know. They're scientists. And then there's like, you can see that there's like almost like a fluttering of her eyes. And she goes, one moment, and she turns to one of the terminals and starts like one-handed reaching down, but then the hand splits off into like different fingers, and now she's got like almost like 30 fingers off the end of her hand, and it's just this almost like, you ever see I think it was like Ghost in the Shell, where they had the operators that, like, reached out their fingers, and then each finger reached out another 5 fingers. It's sort of like that. It's sort of like, and she puts out all these fingers and start tapping on the screen, moving just really fast. And she goes, and she points over at the dead Legionnaire behind you guys, have started to plant a nuclear weapon. You help me with stopping them from blowing the station up before we're ready to leave now, and you can have that disc, which I said you could take already, but I'm sure you would be interested in whatever salvage is able to be done by the previous ship that had docked at this station. I will release it. And then you guys remember there was that ship that was all tangled up in vacuum organisms when it was rotating, and she's just commenting, she's like, I will have plants release the ship, but we need to go now. They're in the rec center trying to set up a nuke to go off.
That's what those gunshots were. And that bang, they blew a hole in the station. Zahir, I tried to get Zahir on the...
It's static. You're not getting them.
Okay.
What do you say,
She's
everybody?
like, here, you guys will... She like also leans behind another sub panel and pulls out. She's like, I know that you didn't come equipped for a fight. And she kind of side glances at your sword and kind of like, whatever.
Good sword.
And then it is under normal circumstances. And she says, you might need these or want these. It's up to you. And she's holding out 2 rifles. Looks like an automatic knockoff of your Legion carbine.
I'll take it.
Okay. So
what's it called?
I don't know if you. Just it's a knockoff of the Legion carbine, so I'm just gonna drag off onto your character sheet a Legion carbine just for the quickness of it.
Okay.
So let me pull this off, drop it. Now it should be in your items.
I would hate to see them blow this station up. As scary as this all is, it just would be a shame for it to all be destroyed. We will help you. At least, I think the others will help you with me, but I think we should. What do you all say?
Well, we get our piece of data. We get our salvage.
Yeah, we got a ship.
She's happy.
She's essentially not waiting. She's already running, and the Kobu are following her.
Oh, cool. All right, let's boogie them.
Grab the disc, Mara. Grab the disc.
I will grab the disc.
Yeah, don't forget that.
I mean, it almost sounded like she wanted me to wait until we had delivered for her, but we're taking it.
Yeah, I mean, she just wasn't waiting for you guys, and I told you what the deal was, that you can take it or leave it, and she's moving. So she runs down to the end, gets to the elevator, and the Kobu join her on the elevator. There's enough space for you 3 to be on the elevator. And she says, we're going down to the rec center. which you know is uh, essentially just one level above like the reactor level, so it's several layers down. So you can take the elevator, or you can take the windy staircase all the way down. It's up to you on whether or not you feel safe with her and the Kobu.
I feel safe with her. I'll stick with her.
Okay. All right. So you guys get in the elevator. You go down. It's that interesting, awkward elevator ride. Is there anything that you want to say or talk to her? Otherwise, she's just calmly, almost like in a Zen state, taking in what you assume is somehow she's getting maybe communicated with somehow.
What? So I think Mara would want to ask her if we've got a little bit of time here.
Yeah, there's like the like minute or so to go down.
If you could tell us real quick, what are your intentions regarding humanity?
Humanity has a very long way to go to grow up. I intend to give a gift to the Reach, to the people of Tabaran, before I go. There's a spot that I wish to go that, frankly, is none of anybody else's business right now. I'm trying to think of how she would phrase this. So she says, my intention with humanity is to help them grow. And I hope that my gift start of what they will need to do the growth that they need to do. Does that answer your question?
Yes, in a very creepy way. So, thanks.
All right. So about that time, the doors start to open up, and we will load the rec center. Okay. So this map, are you seeing it, or do I need to change the lighting on this one too?
I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So the rec, you're seeing the general layout, because I mean this is kind of again something that would have been talked about. It's like, it's a big central room with the layout. So you're coming in from this corridor where I'm pinging, and I'll just drag you guys over there, unless you want to move yourselves. Let's see. It doesn't look like Mara got on there, so let me make sure to pull your character off on there. And then we have Kobu that stepped off with you, and Wahini. Okay. So since she wasn't waiting for you, she was, I would say, probably in the lead. And then unless you guys want to force your way in front of the Kobu are like right behind her.
No, let her go. Let him go.
And she gets the right. So she gets the door first, and the doors don't seem to open. They seem kind of jammed. Something seems to be going on with them. And she says, I don't know, this is going to take too long to perhaps go through this way. My Kobu will essentially dig, but I know of another way. And she like opens up like a little side hack, maintenance hatch, and then starts crawling through. And do you guys follow?
Yep.
Okay. So what that effectively is going to do is it means that you guys are coming out in this area here. Oops, if it's pinging. Love me these laptop touchpads.
We're down here.
Especially on older ones where it's like all sensitive. Yeah. All right. So let me get her down here. And then you guys can follow suit. Just open up into this area, which is like the rec center's. Comes out right by the almost like an administrative desk, and then there's like these like suntan beds or something like that, what they used to be back when it was a rec center. And the first thing that you see is down across the way, down over where I'm pinging. There's this like barricade that you see set up, and you see 2 Legionnaire, what you recognize in your travels as like a special forces unit of Legionnaire. You see 2 of them there, and then yeah, you'd probably see these guys here too. You see a woman that's dressed differently. And she is leaned over talking to another special forces here who is working on a rather large, like 3 suitcases big crate almost aspect device that's on the floor. And that's what you see at the moment.
We're waiting for that
And
woman.
they haven't noticed you because the guys at Mohini.
Yeah, wait for her to lead the way, see what she does.
Okay, so bear with me here. I need to zoom out. So she walks to the corner here, sees what they're doing, and you see her say, "You need to stop right now." And she kind of puts her arms out in like balled fists off to the side. And the 2 at the guards at the oops, hang on. I don't know why it did that. Okay. Those 2 guards at the barricade turn and just immediately like, "You're not one of us," and they start opening up on her, firing, and that's what's going on at the moment.
Okay, I'm gonna run and plow her to the ground. That's what my first action's
Okay.
gonna do. Just jump her and bring her to the ground.
Yep. So what I'm going to say is, we'll say that that's a I'll take Dex, melee combat, or survival, because it's kind of mixing all into that on how you're trying to like protect her and dive her down, force her down.
Next. There we go. Success.
Yep, I see that. All right, so you guys are now prone on the ground as bullets are starting to wing around you. Oops, not invisible. Where's the prone icon? There it is. All right, so you 2 are prone. And let me do a quick roll for these guys on their carbines. Range combat.
Are we trying to take
Yeah,
out
go
all
ahead.
those folks?
So far, all that she said was, "You guys need to stop right now," and they're turning around and just shooting at her because that's what these guys are.
Stuff is there.
Okay. So you got one, and then the other one. Range combat. You only got one. Okay. So damage is 3. Alright, so I'm going to say with Zephyr tackling her out of the way that it's probably going to be 50-50 on who they get. Let's see, on a 1 to 3 it'll be Zephyr, on the 4 to 6 it'll be Wayne. Alright, so just need to end this encounter because that's a mistake. Alright, so that's, well, what did you roll though? Okay, so both of it hit Wahini, and you see just as you're tackling her to the ground, like say her upper torso, you kind of like mid hit her in the midsection to bring her down, and she gets a couple of bullets into the top of her as you go down, and it's not looking good for her. So we are essentially in a combat. So let me scroll out. No, scroll out and get everyone in that is supposed to be in. Okay. Right click and combat. Come here. Love laptops.
Should have
Click, I say.
You should have went to the store and bought a mouse, a cheap $10 mouse.
Should've. All right. Well, I can't activate the combat right now. I'll keep trying, but in the meantime, Rashid and Mara, what are you doing? We'll start with Rashid. What are you doing?
Yeah, just go in order. Like, just a list. Doesn't matter who goes.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm doing it.
Yeah, it looks like he came up. There he goes. Rashid is going to. He's going to. This is a wall right here. I'm assuming, right? Right over here.
Yes, correct.
Yeah. He's gonna essentially press right up against the back of it.
Here we go.
Oh, perfect.
Let's do the roll all. Okay, and we're currently on Washid's turn. So where is it starting off at? Okay, so say it again. What were you doing?
Just running into
Rashid?
a wall right here.
Mm-hmm.
Pressing up against it and checking to make sure that the carbine I actually have is in fact loaded, grenade launcher and all.
It appears to be loaded. There's a few rounds out of it, as best you can tell, but it should be able to, continue firing many more bullets yet. Like there's a lot more rounds in the mag. How many more? I mean, that would need to scrutinize it more.
Okay.
Roll your observation as you hit that corner of that wall, though.
Okay. Observation. One. Yes. Okay.
Okay. When you get to the corner of that wall, just on the opposite side of that wall, you see two other legionnaires
Oh,
that are standing there that are now starting to turn because of the bullets that are firing.
Oh yeah, we're dead. Oh my god. 4
That's been an
legionnaires.
There.
They're gonna rat us out, take us in, spend the rest of our life in prison.
Right click on this and then try and tell where this at. Oh, there we go. So now that I have it up, we just did Rashid. Okay. And that task force person will, let me pop this out so it's out of the way. Okay. So yeah, he was the one that fired, so we'll have him. Yep, this round. And next up is Gina. So she hears her special force guys firing, turns around and says, like sees it, then turns back to the guy she was just talking to. Finish it, no matter what, she screams and starts pulling out her gun and running towards the action. And we will say that was the end of that round, which then brings us to the top of the round of people. All right, Mara, you're up.
Yeah, so it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, there's a. It looks like there's a lot of enemy soldiers, and we're not an army, so we can't take them down. Where is the nuke? Is it over on the other side of the ring, or?
Yeah, so that's what you're assuming that I over here is working on.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
This device that's way on the other side.
Is there?
It looks like I'm gonna say that you can see this barricade, and it immediately dawns on you that over here, you see as you're kind of assessing what you're doing right now is assessing the situation. Like, okay, the nuke's over there. Then that's a long time far. But then they have this barricade, and then you see that they have this like entry gun that's right here, and you're like, I wonder if I could hack that and turn it against them.
Right. So I was going to say, hey, can I hack the nuke? And that seemed a little unlikely.
Yeah. No. That's
yeah. Oh, I will. I will hack the big turret gun.
Yeah.
To shoot.
So we'll
say I will absolutely do that.
Yeah.
This round if I can.
So. Yeah. So you could do that. We'll say is that there's like you're gonna try and like essentially wirelessly connect to it, because they have like wireless command controls that they can command the gun to point in a direction, or to friendly fire is off, that kind of stuff. And so that you can hack into this wirelessly, and you're going to use your like Tabula data pad thing that you have to go ahead and do that hack. So normally that would be a disadvantage because you're not right up on the device, but because you have the advantage of that Tabula helping you out, it offsets that. So at the end, I think is just going to be a straight data gen roll to see if you can just get access to it. Yeah. And that's not hacking it in your favor. That's just to get access to it in general, and then you'll have to hack it to take it under control. So kind of a two-step process.
Okay. All right. So first step though is the data gen roll.
Yep.
Okay. And at +0. So okay. No. Okay. I am going to push it because it, this is whether we survive or not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Give me a second. I think I. That up. That is my data gen roll. All right. Create the icons. Go. Okay. Yep.
Okay. So as of right now, you have not been able to get in. So you're looking at either finding a different way to hack in or connect to it, or physically go over to it to hack in. Right now, from what you can tell, the sentry gun is pointing down a corridor and defending that corridor. It's almost like they expected you to come from that direction, which is why they had the barricade in place. They're not expecting somebody to come through the corridor up here where the Kubos are trying to hack their way through. All right, so let's see, who is next? Lost track of my counter. You know what? I'm just going to end this because there's like too many people to keep track of on my small little screen. And yes. Okay. Anyway, so we'll just go down the line. Zephyr, what are you doing?
How far could I run in one turn?
You can run like about 40 meters in your exoshell. After that, you need to roll like a dex to push it further, and you have that -2 because of its bulky, clunky nature. So you can get most of the way across this open area.
Okay, well,
Unless you decide to push it.
I'm going to run as far as I can towards the nuke.
Okay.
And how that's like just 40 meters? You said I could go further?
You can go further, but you're going to need to roll your dex with the -2 because you're in an exoshell.
Okay.
And if you fail it, then it means that you're effectively tripping up at some point along the way because you're trying to push yourself too hard and you lose balance.
Okay, if I move the 40, do I still get an attack action?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move 40, which would be there. Oh, I got it on the wrong one here.
There you go.
And I'm going to shoot the nuke with my gun.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So you're, I assume, a very short distance to it at this point after the run. You aren't going to be able to do the slow action or fast action aim and fire. So I'll say that you have the disadvantage on your range combat. Plus, it's a smaller object. Effectively, I'll give you a -1 on your range combat.
Okay. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to shoot at the nuke just to maybe grab some attention.
Yeah, they could. Okay. All right, and then this Legionnaire, I'll say, is the next to go, just to get him. Dang it! Accidentally switch screens there for a second. I'll say that he's continuing. Well, no, I'm going to give him a roll because he's going to need effectively like his wits roll to keep working on this, as opposed to like shoot it at me. To do wits straight up. All right, so to have the ability to. Could be the laptop. I think I rolled that private roll, but he succeeded with one success, and so he's going to keep working on the nuke and trusting that his quote unquote captain or whoever she is going to take care of business because he knows that she's close to you. And then Rashid, what are you doing?
Let me fire off a grenade over at these two over here.
Okay. That is going to be. I think that still counts as a ranged combat.
It probably does.
So go ahead and give that a roll. And I apologize if I'm playing fast and loose with the rules, but trying to get through it rather than bog down trying to check everything. And
Yeah.
since it's the first time playing.
No, that's okay. It doesn't matter about the rules.
All right, so there
Yeah.
you go.
It's already 12 anyways.
Yeah. So exactly. So we'll try and finish this up. So the grenade lands in between the two of them and blows up, right? And we'll say that it effectively takes both of these guys out.
Nice.
Knocks them, on their asses at the very least. Let me do a quick private roll for Kubos. Okay, so the Kubos are now starting to make their way through the door. And let's see, so it was Rashid, Zephyr just went, and Mara, what are you doing? You're up next. Mara, you're next. What do you want to do?
Muted.
I was muted.
You're on mute. Yeah,
Apologies.
that's it.
I can't hack the turret. I don't know.
Can you hack the nuke?
Give me an observation roll.
Okay.
It's not plugged into anything, and it doesn't have, at least not set up right now for remote detonation, so it doesn't appear that she could.
Can I wait? I don't know. Can I don't know what I.
Yeah,
as a
you can
player, I
wait.
don't know what to do right now.
Yeah, you can. Also, you can hold your action right now.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. All right. So those two are gone. They're the ones that had the remote, so that's gonna sit. Did I accidentally? You had tossed it to the guys over at right there at the wall, or had you tossed it over at the ones at the barricade? You had tossed it at the barricade, right, Rashid?
Yeah, these guys over here.
Yeah, I think I accidentally had these guys highlighted too, because they're not supposed to be dead. All right. So they're not dead; they're still there. So one comes, or they both come up, and the one that's in front, most closest to you, just immediately goes to like strike at you.
Okay.
Let's see. So he's going to be using a melee combat. And fails. So you manage to duck out of the way and avoid getting hit. The other one who's behind him is trying to like jockey for position. So he's sidestepping around, and he might be able to get at the prone, either you or the prone Wahini, and that's their turn. I think that covers everybody other than Gina. Yeah. So let me go back to her. Yeah, go ahead. Mara, did you want to go now?
I mean, can I? It looks like there are some people like in our way right now. Can I also kind of try to run over to the bomb?
Yeah, you could do the super run to get all the way over there. You move the 40 meters in one move. So if you like essentially use both of your actions to move all the way, then you could get all the way over there. Although I'm going to need to have you. Is it how far away?
It's 52
from where you were
meters,
at?
it looks like. Yeah, so I need to make a roll.
All told. Okay. So no, if you use, well, you'll need to make a roll if you only wanted to do it in one action. If you wanted to just use both actions to get there, then you just get there because you can do the 40 meters with each action.
40 meters with each action. So I would.
You're there?
Yeah, maybe about there-ish, probably about where Zephyr is. I will be fine with. I mean, Zephyr isn't dead yet from people shooting at him, so I guess I will. Yeah, I'll just do this turn.
Okay. And Gina, sees you guys approaching, sees you shot at the nuke, and she's gonna try and do her firing at you, Zephyr, with her carbine.
Okay. Roll it up.
All right, so that is limited success. It's 3 damage. So do you have armor? I think your
I got armor.
Counts as a 2 armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, so roll the 2 to try and
Nothing.
hold off.
So I take 3 damage.
And did you want to pray? Yeah, unless you want to pray to the icons and re-roll it and see if you get a success and hold off damage.
No, I'll take the damage. I got room to spare.
Okay.
3 damage.
Right. So yeah, you take a couple of bullets affect you in your exoshell.
Down to 5 hit points.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, and then now we're back at top of the round. Zephyr, what do you want to do?
Mara, go disable the nuke. I'll cover you. And I'm going to fire at this guy here that's by the nuke. With
Okay. He's busily working on it, so it's a really easy hit. So it's no modifiers in a negative sense. Did you want to aim and then fire, or just?
Too late. I fired. So
That's fine. You got a limited success. Is that what I'm seeing?
Mm-hmm.
Damage is
Yeah, that's
3.
right.
Crit 2.
Cool.
Bonus 1. So 3 damage. So
Alright,
3 damage.
He has. All right, 3 damage. Cool. All right, let me get his. Where's his armor? Or does it even have armor? Good.
And with my second fast action, I'm just gonna go right up into engaged range with him. That'll give Mara clear way in.
Okay, so technically he's supposed to have a suit of armor. I'll say it's worth 2. And so he only gets 2 points damage on him. Okay. And I'm sorry, what was it that you were saying you moved further up with your second action?
I moved into close combat with him for my second
Okay.
action.
All right. Yeah, so he's completely and sees you going into close combat. It's his turn next, and he's gonna fumble for like a knife to like fend you off. And so I'm gonna have him roll his dex. And in the meantime, while he's doing that, Rashid, what are you doing?
Let's see, he's got these two kind of coming around the corner there. Oh my. He's
Okay,
gonna.
So yeah, he's able to get the knife out.
Rashid's gonna kind of sidestep here in front of this one, and is actually going to just take a swing with his hand with the power glove.
Okay.
That's going to be a
So,
melee
go ahead.
combat. Ooh, I want to push that roll.
Okay.
Come on. I will take it.
All right. All right. So
That
he
is
winds up
2
taking the
damage.
hit. Okay. And I'm gonna say that these two guys are just in like environmental loose suits, not hardened stuff.
Okay.
So let's see. That's gonna be V1, 2, and that's just gonna be like a single die of armor. I don't know why that was highlighted on you. Oh, because I was accidentally highlighted on you. That's why. Moving forward, let's see. So after you, we've got Mara. Did you want to hold your action, or did you want to go now?
No, if I can, I'll go to the bomb now.
Yeah, you can go to the bomb. They're fighting essentially right over it or right next to it,
Right
so
next to
you might
me,
get
yeah.
jostled. Are you trying to get access to it and like hack it and sabotage it,
Yeah,
kind of
like,
as fast as you can?
Sabotage it, yeah.
Yeah. So there's like a control panel that you have, and we'll say that because he was in the middle of it and it's not something that you're used to working with every day, you're gonna have a -2 on this roll to like sabotage it as fast as possible
But it's a data gen
with the
roll.
data gen. Yeah.
Data gen. Okay, -2. That is a success.
Which is enough. So you're able to destroy the sabotage the access panel. It's not with an extra success, it would be like a permanent thing. They could try and repair it, but for right now, you've disabled it from going off. So at least the immediate threat of that going off is over.
Yep. Okay. Did Zephyr? Did you actually shoot the bomb, or did that miss?
It missed.
That missed.
So I wonder if shooting it on top of this would, like destroy its mechanism so that it couldn't be. But I don't think a stun gun would do it. And I also think that ideally we would tell them, hey, your bomb isn't working anymore. You should just leave. But wait, but that's my turn.
And the two that are on Rashid are gonna go, and Gina's gonna go here at the last, so she's last on the pecking order. If I can get my Zoom to work correctly on this laptop. Come on, grab and go. All right. So this guy, you guys are in close combat, so I'm gonna effectively do melee combat
Mm-hmm.
and roll. I believe that's a big bunch of nothing.
Yeah, it's a big bunch
Mighty
of nothing.
Special Forces instills the fear in you, doesn't it?
Oh,
Bunch of misses.
absolutely.
Wow.
We'll take it.
You're striking the intimidation of fear into these two guys, able to fend them off. You hear behind you, though, you hear Wahini go, "It must stop now." And she, like, slams her fist into the table. And the Kubo are coming through the door at the same moment that some vines are starting to come through the floor, like make cracks, and they're coming up to attack the various Legionnaire forces that are still active. So Gina, the captain person, or because she looks different, she is different. She must be the main character of the Legionnaires. Sees the Kubo coming through the door, sees the vines coming up through the floor, sees the person that was working on the nuke, her compatriot being sidetracked by Zephyr, and Mara being up at the nuke, just is assessing the whole situation, and I'm going to give her a roll. And on an, I'd say a 7 or less, she's going to just, I'm out. Nope, she's sticking it out. So she opens fires on the Kubo, as the most, like, what she assesses as the most immediate threat. And it's going to range combat, see what she does with that. Gets 1 success, that's 3. And we'll say that winds up downing this Kubo here. No, not all 3 of them. Jeez. It wasn't even highlighted on all 3. Anyway, takes out one of them. I'll fix this in a second. And then that was Gina, so then top of the round goes back to Zephyr.
I'm going to strike at this guy with my sword. I'm going to push it. No.
Oh, man.
That's it.
So you pushed again? All right. Okay, so you guys are in this tumble down fight, knockout. And let me switch over to this, and then switch back, and then right click. I don't know. That's a weird glitch. It's almost like it's taking all of the same type of icon and doing the. We're all dead. Either that, or I might have a link data on it, which it shouldn't have. Doesn't matter. One of them's dead. I'll just make them invisible. That'll be easy, right? Because it should only do it for the one. Yep. Cool. All right. And you did the miss with your sword. He's gonna try and, since he's next up. Yeah, he's too focused on you. He sees Mara evidently messing with the thing, but I'm gonna say that he's just too, focused on hitting you back, and is gonna melee combat you back for 1 success. Which, what does he have for? So that's just gonna be 2 damage. So roll your armor.
I'll take the 2 damage.
Okay. And then next up we have Rashid again.
All right. Probably just the same thing in here. Just give another, pot shot at this dude right here in front of me.
Okay. And go ahead and pot shot away.
Boom.
Mr. Deckhand taking on 2 special forces.
Right. Just don't mind me just doing typical deckhand stuff, lifting cargo crates, fixing stuff, taking on special forces 2 at a time.
All's in a day's work.
Right?
And I'm sorry, what'd you hit him with again?
Power glove, it's 2 damage.
2. Okay, 2. All right.
Yeah.
And then this is you only got the 1 for the armor, which is nothing. So he takes the 2. I think is this the one you hit before?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's wow. Not both of them. I don't know. Something's glitched with that. So I am just gonna make him disappear since I can do that and not both of them. So one of them goes down.
Woo.
And then, how dare you down my brother? And he tries to strike back at you.
He's welcome to do so.
Well, they've been doing a whole lot of missing lately, so they're not being very impressive, right?
Oh.
Although that's a hit with an extra potential damage, so I'm going to say that is 3 damage coming your way.
Okay, so there is as a fast reaction I can defend against.
Yeah, you want to try and block?
Yeah.
Did you have an action left over?
I should. That the melee attack should have only been 2, I think. Yeah, it would have been a normal action, so I'd still have a fast action point left to negate one of those 6s.
Go ahead and so try and do that.
Okay. So I guess do I just roll melee combat back or?
Yeah, we'll say that's like contested roll essentially for blocking it back.
Ah!
Do it.
Take away one of your 6s.
Okay, so so just 2 points coming at you, and you have the 2 points for the exo shell that you can roll. Hey, so 1 point. 1 point of damage gets through.
Okay,
Fighting on.
Hee, that tickled.
So after he goes, then it's Gina's up, and she downed the 1 Kubo, but things are looking a little bit more grim than they were, and these guys are gone. I'm just gonna them there for the moment. She is going to move to the nuclear bomb to do like a quick, and just tries to shove Mara out of the way. Is like, I don't even deem you important. And like just like bashes you out of the way. And tries to make an assessment of like how badly damaged the nuke is. And so, are you gonna prevent her from pushing you aside, or is she just gonna like?
No, because I want to shoot her in the back with the stun gun afterwards.
Okay.
Is she wearing armor?
Yeah, she's wearing like the Legionnaire armor.
All right.
So.
I mean, what I would want to do with
shot
her...
to her head, which is exposed right now.
Yeah, yeah. If it's not my turn, so I don't think I can do very much. So no, I'm gonna.
It's not right this moment.
I will not resist if she pushes me aside, because I want her to be distracted with the bomb.
Right. So she pushes you aside, starts checking on the bomb, assesses it. Looking at that, you see, as it starts to become your turn, you see some of those vines that come through the floor, through the grating and stuff, are starting to attach onto her legs. Zephyr, you're seeing that with the Legionnaire that is there, and The two Kubos are coming through to come at the Legionnaires that are still up. The two that are, to the north side, I'll say, and then the two that are down towards Rashid. Let me zoom out so I can move these guys better.
Are you talking about these two down here?
The two that you grenaded are down.
Okay.
So that there's only the two on you, or sorry, one on you, and then the two that are up here,
Okay.
and they're coming rushing in. So, but essentially at this point, you see the Legionnaires are starting to get snagged with the vines, and a Kubo has now joined in on the fray. And Mara, it's your turn.
I'm gonna. Technically, like a stun gun does not necessarily knock someone out with one shot, right? It just does a certain amount of damage, or how does it work?
Yeah, essentially it does a certain amount of damage, and if that damage is enough, then it stuns them. Functionally, I think that's been an argument in some of the forums, I think, is how you have a stun gun, you get a success, but then it doesn't actually stun them. But then that makes it too OP because then it's just one hit, one stun.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a resistance. So I get it. So you can do a stun, you can get a success, but the way I kind of run it with it not making it too OP is it does need to do a certain amount of stun damage to stun the person right off the bat. Because otherwise it's like the glancing blow, as it were, and it didn't get them with the full shock energy or whatever it is that they're using to disrupt the neurological pathways.
Sure. So I mean, I think Mara, knowing that it's a long shot, so to speak, to actually down this powerful woman, is going to go with something that has worked before, which is actually talking to her, which is she will be like, the plants are closing in on you, lady. You can't fix this bomb in time. You should get out of here.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your manipulation. I'll give you, because of the circumstances, I will give you a +1 for your influence, because you're kind of, with the plants and everything, you're kind of outnumbering them now at this point.
Okay. Andre has decided to. Okay, so +1. Let's do that. And okay. Limited success.
All right. And she's gonna do a counter. Let me scroll in here.
She's probably pretty charismatic.
Yeah, I'm gonna count her with her wits and see if she gets enough juice.
Ooh.
Okay.
So she counters your persuasive, and logical. Yeah, you're right. But I'm also, a legionnaire, and I got to do what I got to do.
Can I still shoot her?
Next round.
Next round.
This is all happening. Like you make
Gotcha.
the case, and then
Totally
she's
fine.
making her counter in this next round. So she's out of the loop right now as you guys are having that little powwow. At the same time, though, Zephyr, you're top of the round. What are you doing? You've got, Gina evidently ran up to the thing, pushed Mara out of the way. You've got the guy trying to, hit you and take you out. And now you have this Kubo next to you.
And the Kubo's on my side, right? The Kubo's on my side,
Yeah.
right?
Correct. Literally on your side and is lunging for the Legionnaire. But it's not the Kubo's turn yet.
Yeah, so I'm just going to swing my sword again.
Okay.
Oh my god, that's 3 sets of 5 I missed. I'm going to push.
Okay, that's another 30 point for me.
Well, you're not even using them anyways, but so I might as well push.
I did use them, and I could use them again.
Well, then, yeah, just make the nuke go off with all of them.
Dude, I'm tempted.
So I got it for 3 damage or 2 damage.
2 damage. All right. And this guy, I believe, has his full armor. Roll. What'd he get? Nothing. Okay. And that was 2 damage, you said?
Yeah.
So yeah, so he was already hit from before, so now he's down on the ground, and the Kubo starts mashing on him.
Good boy, Kubo.
Okay,
You're a good boy.
when you're on my side. Rashid, you're up.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay where I am and just continue just punching away. Don't see any need to change that
Seems to
up.
be working for you so far.
So far, so good. I mean,
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
that's right.
Okay, go ahead.
Nice. Okay. I'll take that.
All right. And how much damage was that with the power glove? 3 or was it 2?
2.
2. Okay, and then his was just the 1 fend off, which is nothing. So he's got 2.
And for special forces, their armor ain't great.
Well, these 2 particular guys were like stripped down for some reason, and just wearing like regular, stuff. So and then the fact that you grenaded 2 of them also contributed a lot to the factor.
Shrapnel.
And their misses. Don't forget how many times they missed as well. Right. So
Yes.
so he's 2. That's you. He's gonna swing back at you. Melee combat. Boom.
Oh.
Success. So that is 2 points back to you.
I believe I have another. I can defend again to negate that 6.
Okay. Go ahead and try.
Do it. Ooh.
Okay, so you get the full 2 points.
Yep, that's fine.
All right. Let's see who's after that. So it's Gina, who is doing her I gotta do what I gotta do. And I am going to spend I'm gonna say that this is gonna be equivalent of spending I want to say 4 darkness points, but you know what? I got 5. I'm gonna spend it's 4. So I'm down to 1 again. I'm gonna spend 4 darkness points as she whips out a replacement module and does like a quick swap.
Oh man.
A quick swap of what?
Of the nuke control panel that Mara had.
You scared her.
That's amazing. You had that on hand? I didn't work with you.
She was prepared.
Yep. So so that she does that quick swap out, and that's her action as she's telling you, I gotta do what I gotta do, and she's swapping in a new panel.
Whose turn?
Mara, you're up.
I mean, so first of all, I feel like she wants to give the woman props, right? Like, we should really work together. You are so good at this. We got to work together at some point. And then she tries to shoot her in the head.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
It's ranged combat.
Yeah.
And is it negative because I'm
You
trying
can
to shoot
now.
her in the head, or plus, or
Yeah. So if you're specifically shooting her in the head, that's a called shot, and I'll say that is because she's also right there, and you're looking at. It's not a surprise. I'm going to say it's a -2.
-2. Okay. But
Yeah. because
if I make
it's essentially
that
like she's gonna see it coming. Yeah, if you make that,
dodge,
then
yeah.
I'll say that I'll say she's stunned.
If you make it, she's stunned. Okay.
Yes.
Well, then you just used all your. Okay, I'm pushing that. I am so pushing that.
Yep. As you should, especially in this
And
late
the
stage.
so this, I'm rolling again, and it needs to be. How do I can't give it a negative number. Is that the
Oh,
same roll again?
just hit the roll again. It's gonna
Okay.
be the same roll.
Okay,
Or it should
cool,
be,
cool.
yeah.
Come on. No.
Oh,
Okay.
so close.
Oh. So Gina sees it coming and just kind of sidesteps, knocks your arm, and does the I don't think so. Okay, so then we're back up at Zephyr. You see this happen, this exchange happen as Kubo is chewing on your former enemy, and you're like, okay, what next? Oh, well, this is going on right in front of me.
I gotta go up to her and I gotta push her hard to the ground. Just not try to knock the wind out of her.
So, right.
I can say, stop it.
She's out of actions, so this is just your shoving her.
Yeah. So a strength roll
Roll your. Yeah.
or melee combat. I'll use, right? All right. Yeah.
Whichever one. Yeah, I'll take either one.
There you go. Stop it.
So you knock her prone, and because she doesn't have any actions, she's gonna wind up getting knocked on her butt.
Does she drop her weapon? I'm trying to milk it.
Yeah, no, I get it. Oh no, my mouse is all messed up. I don't know if you have access, but if you do have access to that icon, if you can put it in prone while I try and figure out my mouse problem. And then let me roll to see if we'll give it a dex check, I guess. I gotta pull it up here. Alright, maybe if I do this and come back on it, it'll recenter.
I'm gonna just say, as I push her to the ground, I'm saying, listen, whatever is here should not be destroyed. There's something here. It should be investigated and researched. You're just gonna destroy it. It's just sitting in space. It's no harm to anybody. Leave it. Take her.
Okay, roll a manipulate. And then in regards to whether or not she dropped her weapon, yeah, she dropped the weapon.
I succeeded in manipulation.
Okay, so this is gonna be a tough one. For her, I'm gonna have to give her wits roll again.
No.
And she had 4 in wits. She didn't make it. So, what with everything that's been transpiring and the fact that the Kubos, the vines, all that, she does the fine. You got me. I surrender. You have me.
Don't need to surrender. Just get the fuck out of here.
And she grabs up her weapon and starts to run. Next up would have been Rashid. So what are you doing during all this?
I'm gonna knock this guy out.
Okay. At this point, I think I got the mouse working again. Woo! Okay, so you're knocking him out? Or
Yeah.
trying to? Okay.
I'll give you.
Did
I'll
you
give
want to
another darkness
push?
point. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey! I can do interesting things with darkness. So you got 2 successes on the push?
Yes.
Is that what I saw?
Right.
Okay. And at some point, I'll figure out how to use the darkness points in this module, but that's for another day. All right, so that's 2. So, what do you want to do with the extra success?
I think with
I'll
that
say
one,
that if your intention is like pushing him down, then you could like almost go overkill and do like the almost like you're smashing his head into the ground to try and knock him out.
yeah, that works.
Okay, we'll go with that. So he's got to essentially defend against that, and I will allow him to do so with essentially his strength. So you're gonna need to get 2 successes, buddy.
No.
But you get none of it. So you take your deckhand brutal strength and just pile drive him into the deck plating.
Fantastic.
You suspect that maybe it helped that there were some vines, there, but you're taking all the credit for sure.
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
the one that knocked
I was like too, like what's her name?
Oh, and I forgot.
Yeah, take
Gina
your men
or
with
the
you. Gina.
Wahini?
Yeah, Gina. Take your
Oh,
men
yeah.
with you and get the hell out of here.
I knocked out the last one.
I was gonna say, let's see, who's left? So she comes to. I mean, since she was running that way already, I'll say that she is grabbing up the leftover soldier. Is bodily dragging the 2 that are unconscious out of the room. And the vines are trying to help. The Kubo is helping, and you see the figure of Wahini just laying there, like, and it seems to be over and done with. You guys seem to have stopped the nuke from going off. The special forces either dead, unconscious, being escorted out by the Kubos.
Okay.
And what Heaney seems to be not in good shape on the floor.
Can Rashid do what am I looking for? Metacurgy check to
Yeah, you could.
get a better, I guess, understanding of what her situation looks like.
Yep, you can give me a roll for that.
Okay. Ooh, nice.
Okay, so she looks like she's dying as best you can determine, but it also seems like, I mean, from what you know of human anatomy, it seems that she's been experimenting on herself. It seems like certain organs don't seem to be in the right place, sort of thing. You're not getting the same sort of feedback, and she seems like she's dying. Her attitude on her face doesn't seem to care, and she sees that you guys are all done. She says, "Thank you. Now we may go. You need to go now too. You can leave me here. It's all right."
I'm
You
like,
can take the other ship and go.
That's what we're doing.
I'm like, what's her name?
Wahini.
Wahini. I don't want to see you die. You lived 100 years. It's a shame that you would go like this. And I'm going to try and take the bullets out with my little pliers with my
Okay.
metallurgy roll. If I can.
Okay, go ahead. Give me a metallurgy roll. Yeah, go for it.
And I'll push it. There we go. Please live.
Okay. Um, and she says, "Oh, I will. Maybe not this one." And she points at herself. And then you hear another voice behind you. "But this one most certainly will." And it's Wahini standing behind you. Another Wahini
Oh yeah.
who is not prone.
Okay, time to go.
Well then, yes. We'll take the data disk and run. Nice to meet you. I'm glad you're still alive.
Yeah.
So long.
So you guys take your data disk and run down the hallways. I mean, if there's no other conversation or digging around, asking questions you want to do, you run down the corridors to the other ship. You're still trying to reach Zahir on the line. You don't hear him. You don't hear him, and you get to that other ship, the Shiraz, that Jiran had come to try and rescue his uncle. What happened to his uncle, you don't know. Other than the ship evidently didn't make it through the turns, so you're guessing he didn't make it. You get onto the weeds and vines, the vacuum organisms have peeled away from the ship, as Wahini said she would do for you guys. It still looks like it's in working order. It didn't look like anything happened to it. On your way through the corridor, though, where the blast happened, is nearby there, and you see these vessels, almost like two-man submarine sort of vessels. They're breaching boarding craft that the Legion use, and there's like 3 of those that are lined up, having smashed through and into the corridor. And you truck through that and get to the Shiraz. You see that it's in mostly good shape, and you're not seeing your vessel. Like, where did that go? And you're like, okay, well, who's got piloting to get you guys out of here in the Shiraz? Because you don't see your ship, and you're not getting any radio contact from Zahir.
Zahir's gone. Piloting.
Even after you asked him not to betray you.
Yeah. I don't have the ship is Shiraz, so you named the ship Shiraz. That's interesting. I don't have piloting. Anybody got a piloting skill?
Me neither.
No.
So I guess we're screwed.
Can we turn on the autopilot and get out of there? I mean, is there an AI?
So well, yeah, right. So there's a ship AI. So I'm going to say it occurs to you, Mara, that you could probably hack the ship AI with the with the history that it already did coming out of the Tarns, plus wiring in the current sensors to have the ship AI assist in piloting through. You're still going to need to make a human roll that defaults to your attribute as a driving piloting role, even though you don't specifically have it. You know what? Okay, so yeah, so you need to make a data gen roll if you're going to do that, to hack the AI and get it to use basically its last known path through to try and mimic that, to autopilot back out, and you need to make a data gen roll to do that. Oops, that's not the right one.
Okay, so data. All you need to tell me is what roll it is. I need to make a data gen roll.
Yep.
Yes.
Data gen roll to hack the system to try and autopilot out. Yep.
Okay. And it's at 0, right? There's no pluses or minuses.
To hack it, yeah, it's just straight.
I was not expecting that to be a hard question.
Oh, nice
Oh my
one.
gosh.
There you go. Yeah, get us the hell out of
Okay,
here, Mara.
so-
Get us the hell out of this
Right.
place.
So with the extra success, you hook the autopilot in, and it's actually a lot easier than you thought. You're like, oh no, this is actually, it's already made it through the data tarns once, and with just sensor data, I can plug this in and it can fly itself, and we can just sit back and ship champagne. So yeah, your three
Wait, so
successes get
let me
that
just-
all
let me
hooked
just-
up.
Uh, add that I have been inspired by Gina's super preparedness.
Totally.
That I need to show myself equal to that technical
go.
acumen, and that's what I do for the ship. Yeah.
Excellent. So you pilot the Shiraz, and it does the few turns just like you did coming in, just like kind of how you had Zahir manually doing it himself in your ship. And you come out of the Tarn area, and I'm not going to make you roll. You see a large Legion battleship sitting just outside the Tarns. And you get the radio, and you see your ship docked on the side, like tractor beamed into it, right? And you hear the voice come over the radio that says, "This is Captain Damoud of the Legion ship Caldera. You will prepare to be boarded."
Oh, shit. You guys got another few hours? We're going to do space combat?
No,
Oh my god.
Long story
Can you-
short, they take you on, they grill you. You find Zahir safe, obviously, and I didn't betray you. They wound up,
Okay, good.
getting one of their boarding things onto us, and we had to go out and capture. But the Legion is subservient to the Foundation, who ultimately is who hired you to get the information. So through a lot of untangling, who are you? Oh, you got this job through Zamil. Oh, and then okay, got you, but he got the job from the Foundation. Well, we kind of answered to them, and they're the ones that wanted this data. Okay, thank you. So you wind up essentially getting grilled in interrogation by the Legion for probably like 2-3 days.
Okay.
And then at the end, it finally winds up that okay, and it's all above board. You guys had the job, you had the sign off, you had the papers, blah blah blah. You had the Emerald Disc. I assume they searched and found it, and okay, so you had the Emerald Disc. Here's your 50,000 burr, and then you need to make a decision whether or not you want to keep the Shiraz or do it for salvage.
No, we keep the Shiraz, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't
So now you have
salvage
2
the
ships.
Shiraz. Yeah, we got 2 ships. Well, we got to maybe next time we find out which one's better. But
Yeah.
Indeed.
Mara
So you
Rashid,
successfully got out. So,
Mara-
and then while you're getting grilled at the end, just as you guys get released, and you're like, "Oh, what do we do?" And the activity in the Legion ship, you see some people running around, and they kind of, "Oh, what's going on?" And there's you guys come to this like bay window area of the aisle that you're walking down, and you look out where the Station 18 tarns are. You can see flickers of light coming through the tarns that didn't get sucked into the micro back hole, area.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden there's just this brilliant, just explosive of almost like you would say like a warp trail, just smoky, wispy white, extended out in brilliance. And it seems in that flash you get that quick picture of, was that Station 18 that just took off to parts unknown?
oh, maybe.
Boldly go where no one's gone before.
Yeah.
And then in the following few weeks, as you guys settle in and decide what you're doing next, you start getting news reports of asteroids in this outer reach system that develop the vacuum spores that you had seen with the red and the purple. That evidently the explosion out, they've determined that somehow these have spored out onto these asteroids and hit, and then they've developed these oxygen-rich oases for people to be able to use for inhabiting and using as stops. So
Interesting.
this Wahina's gift has peppered all these asteroids with potential habitats for folks.
Very nice.
And that's where I leave you with the story.
Well, nice. That was a nice story. Even the ending was continuous.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apologies for some of the technical difficulties and difference in mic quality and then going over late a little bit, but hopefully you guys found it very fun, and
Absolutely.
hope you guys enjoyed watching, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, that was a interesting scenario, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Totally mind-boggling. Like, I had no idea what to expect in that, but yeah, it was interesting. I wonder if they actually continue that in the lore of this game, because it's so old, right? Do they have like another scenario that kind of adds on to this,
Well,
that mystery?
Yeah.
Right?
So there's like originally, before Free League got a hold of the system, as I understand it, there was the module, and it was called Little Flower? Anyway, that's mostly where I took this Station 18 from. It's kind of like a mash between that, and then when Free League got a hold of it in their quick start, they call it Dark Flower, and it's different. And I kind of actually, in having read both of them, I'm like, I kind of like it if you kind of merge the two of them together.
Yeah.
With the backstory of it's this station is from the 100 years ago, and it's here for some reason, and why is it here, and there's more backstory in regards to like Wahini and the biological experiments and stuff like that. And so there's a lot more you guys kind of ran through and missed and stuff. And so but as a one shot, it works. One shot. There's enough meat there that it's like you can put it and kind of even extend it out if you want to into more.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
That's what I like about it, is when you have a lot of material to go off of, depending on where the characters want to go.
Well, it was a nice introductory to Coriolis for all of us. Maybe our characters, Mara and Rashid, and Zypher. I forget my name. I forget how you say my name. Zephyr. Yeah. Maybe we'll all meet again in another with our ship, the Shiraz. But everybody, thanks for coming out.
Well, the Shiraz is Johannes, yeah.
Okay. It was a pleasure. Thanks for Viking and Potnus, and of course Father, for coming out tonight. Thank you.
Yeah,
See you
thank
next
you guys. I really enjoyed you guys playing.
Bye-bye.
Have a great one.
Have a good one.